Nielsen Ratings is a show just for you. We talk film, TV, both old and new. We discover new things, our taste get broader. So here's the show's host in no particular order. Rachel's arrived, she's making a stand. It seems like world domination is her ultimate plan. And he's a little rough, he's a little caustic. Call him what you will as long as it's not toxic. Stupendo's gonna judge you on your sense of cool by asking you what your favorite Mexican food. Northern Bustard and Spider Elm would say hello. It seems like everybody wants to be on this YouTube show. Run by Lance who drinks cappuccino. Everybody thinks he looks like Quentin Tarantino. So come on in and join the Nielsen Ratings. It's a show that you've all been anticipating.
How many times do I have to tell you? Oh, am I muted? No, I'm not. How many times do I have to tell you, Gary? I don't drink cappuccino. Don't drink coffee, full stop. Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings. We are live. Hello to everyone in the chat. I see Snorter Poopus is with us. Critic Owl is with us. Aaron Charman, good to see you, mate. I've got a new book out on Friday. I'll be talking about that in a little bit. And Axel Bodes is also here. If you have a comment at any time, pop it in the chat. You don't have to pay for a super chat here. We'll try and read most of them out. Super chats are welcome, of course, but you don't have to pay for them here. Let me bring in my panel. I've got a couple of extra guests this week. Do you know what? I just realised I don't think I sent the link out to my regular co-host, Enzo. I think I just realised I forgot to do that. So before I do anything else, let me do that. Let's bring in Rachel to ramble on for a moment while I do that. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm doing all right. Doing better this week than last week, so that's what's important.
Yeah, no, you've had everyone seems to, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I really care about at the minute, going through a bit of a tough time. You know, health issues, money issues. All I can say is the answer is in day raving. That is the answer.
That's it.
So,
we all just need to party more.
Well, I mean, it does, you know, if you get to a good day rave, you do get to turn off for a good 6 hours. And that is quite handy, I find. So it does give me a bit of respite. Anyway, also, one of our now regular panelists, the king of the spiders himself, Crick House here.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good. Did you notice you were on the opening credits there? I don't know if you.
I did. That. Like my finest moment. There was like a little man tear, you know, like sexy cry, not full blown sobbing. Just
I mean, the brief was that I wanted a big animated spider to crawl across the screen with your head on it. I don't feel that we got that. So
not quite. No.
I feel that.
Then you don't want to scare off any potential arachnophobes, I suppose. So
Yeah, it's supposed to be like sort of chasing like a Rachel unicorn around, wraps it up in silk. It's all very kind of like, you know, Shelob sequence, Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
magnificent.
Don't really feel we encapsulated that too well.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of other guests on, one of whom's been on my channel before. Critter Kingsford is here. How are you, sir?
Hey. Hello. I learned so much from that opening montage and lyrics, but apparently you're saying it's full of lies. So I don't know.
Well, that's right. I mean, don't believe that I drink coffee because that is a complete untruth.
Lies and slander.
Indeed. Last but by no means least, another guest. Now, my memory, I've had so many guests on now, I can't remember who's been here for the first time and who hasn't. But Mr. E Reviews is here, appearing in a very strong shade of black.
Yes.
You are there. Excellent.
It's like Spinal Tap, isn't it?
Difficulties on this end.
Do you not have an avatar?
Yeah, would be my first time though.
Do you not have an avatar?
Appearance.
Mr. E, do you not have an avatar? Damn, do we have a sound issue?
You may not even have a
I'm
microphone.
not sure he's got a microphone at the moment.
All right. Well, we're gonna. This is going well, I must say. I
know he talks because we was on the 1985 Saturday stream, so I know that he does.
No. I've seen him on streams.
But I think he's trying to create a secondary channel. I think he's trying to put everything onto a new channel, so maybe that's screwing things up.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure he'll be back shortly. It's clear that there was some audio delay there as well. So all good though. All right. Okay. Well, we're going to push on now, as per usual, because I'm told I always forget to do this, and should do it more. I'm going to do a bit of self promotion here, both at the beginning and at the end of the show. So two big things are happening. Well, three in fact in total. One of them is that the film that I shot for Mauler, which the Critical Drinker produced, that is now completed. Post-production has finished. We have a completed film. I can't show you the movie. I can show you some stills. So we'll come back to that topic in just a second. But the other big thing is that my book launch for my latest book is in fact on Friday. So there will be a live stream. I haven't done a mega live stream for a while. I mean, I should have been doing the 3rd anniversary of the channel, which I missed in July because I was so busy with this and other projects. And Toxic's running late and is gay. Just wanted to let us know. Okay, very good. So I'm doing a 6-hour live stream on Friday. Rachel's going to be popping on with me. I think there might be one or two others. And this is about, well, it's for my book, which is officially drops on Amazon on Friday. That is the hardback cover, or that is the still from the hardback cover. There I am, dancing next to the girl with the stripy red shirt. Clearly, the man in the blue shirt is very interested in her clothing attire. There's quite a few friends of mine actually in this picture. There's my buddy Gareth a little bit further back in the red shirt there.
The guy in the white shirt is in the zone, isn't he? He's well gone.
That is Hayden, and he is absolutely lovely. One of the loveliest guys I've met, sort of in that world. He's a really sweet bloke. These two guys on to the left of me, or to the right in the photo, but they would be stage left. They're both good pals of mine as well. And actually, this picture was taken, I think it was the first time we met. And we always kind of meet down the front. That's where we like to be. And I've either got to dance at the front or at the back. I can't be in the middle. Because I need to be able to see clear space ahead of me, which is all to do with sort of PTSD and not having a panic attack and shit. So, but anyway, this is so the book launches on Amazon 3 days time. I think it will be out just after midnight on Thursday, I assume. So it's the first time I've actually scheduled a book to launch on a specific date, so it's a bit new for me. And I will also be at Emotional Response. So Emotional Response is a day rave, which is sponsored by various mental health charities and sort of organisations, things like that, connected to the rave scene. And I'm going to have about 15 copies of the book. I've taken correspondence from people, a much higher number of people than that, who wanted me to give them a signed copy, but they're not necessarily going to be at that event. That was the highest number that I can actually afford to buy, because I'm financially on my knees at the minute. So yeah, but I will have a small number, but you can of course order them, and then you can bring them along to any event that I might be at, and you know, I'll be happy to sign it for you. I'm just trying to find the poster for Emotional Response, which I'd like to give them a quick plug, because it's very kind of them. They've basically allowed me to piggyback off their, there it is, to piggyback off their merchandise stand. This event is now sold out, but there are some people who can't make it. So I think there's a few return tickets on Skiddle. I've had a couple of messages on my social media from people who were asking about popping on the stream on Friday. Basically, anyone who's got experience of sort of the dance music scene, whether you're from the UK or wherever you might be in the world, if it's helped you get through something, then you're welcome to come on and talk about that. But obviously with a strong bent towards the rave scene. But I'm quite happy to have people pop on for 10, 15 minutes and tell me their story. So there's going to be a whole raft of different people coming on, and there might be one or two DJs dropping in. You never know. So that's happening. So this weekend is kind of a big thing. Then of course we have the play coming up, the Magnificent Seven play. That is in October. We are now, I think, about 35% tickets sold. So pretty good. And Critic Owl will be there signing plastic spiders if you want to bring one.
I was just going to bring some real tarantulas down. You know, they travel quite well.
No. Just bring plastic ones, please. I want to let them loose in the theatre. And yeah, so there we go. Magnificent Seven, the Magnificent Egos. So incidentally, Mr. E, if you're able to listen in, but you haven't been able to get back in at the minute, it's not a problem if you don't have an avatar. I was just trying to communicate that to you to make sure I knew you were speaking and things. Is quite helpful. But if you don't have an avatar or you can't get one on for technical reasons, you can still come back on as long as your mic's working. Yeah, so 7 Magnificent Egos. This is on from the 15th to the 19th of October. Only 6 performances. Aaron is also coming. Look at that. So we've got people from Facebook coming. That's great, mate. Let us know what performance you're coming. Incidentally, if you pick up a copy of my latest book, or indeed any of my other books, bring it with you and I will sign it. There will also be a few copies of, I think there'll be a few copies of the Rave book being sold at that event. So fabulous. Okay, Sunday. Yeah, there's a few YouTubers coming on the Sunday. I think Critic Owl's obviously coming. We'll try and get a picture of us all together. What's his name? I call him Hong Kong Fooey, but that's not his name. The guy from South London. Oh God, what's his name? He does look a bit like Hong Kong Fooey. His name will come back to me. He's coming on the Sunday. And then of course, look out for the sound of Rachel's jet flying in London City Airport, bringing a load of guests from America. Still negotiating the costs on that. So yeah. So let me just go around my guests very quickly. We're going to be talking about a raft of different topics tonight. There's one I've postponed to next week, but one of those topics is going to be the 50th anniversary of Jaws. I have just finished watching the latest Spike Lee film. Got quite a lot I want to say about that. Highest to lowest. And that was an interesting experience. And yeah, we'll be touching on a couple of other things and also seeing what my guests are coming up with. Rachel, let me know what you wanted to talk about today. I just want to pop it on the banner, if you would.
Well, considering how I'm on, I'm happy to just talk about the 50th anniversary of Jaws. I didn't really come prepared.
Was there anything else you wanted to recommend, or have you watched anything new? Did you watch that show that I recommended that I thought you might like?
I did. I watched all 6 episodes of that. That was fantastic.
Oh, well, was it called Jurek? Was it Jurek? It was called something like that.
El Turco.
That obviously is very close. Yeah, I was nearly there.
Definitely. You were in the ballpark.
Turco, Jurek, it's yeah. Okay, well, we'll talk about that as well. I've seen the first episode, and I had a feeling it would be up your street. I mean, it's over the top, but we'll talk about it. It's definitely better than that BBC thing that we both started watching.
Oh, goodness.
That Al really loved. Al, anything in addition?
That video's doing really well, actually.
Anything in addition to the
Video's only like
topics
500 views.
mentioned, mate? What else? What else have you got on the cards today?
Well, obviously we've got Jaws.
Yeah.
I finished watching K-pop Demon Hunters about 2 hours ago, and then spent the next hour and a half listening to death metal to get the music out of my head.
Sure.
Good choice. Good choice.
All right, we can talk about that briefly. I have seen it as well.
And then for my recommendations, I've got a YouTube show that I'd like to mention briefly. So that's it, really.
Funnily enough, I'm talking about a YouTube podcast tonight as well. Michael Beans or Michael Bynes. I forget what is the correct pronunciation.
I think it's Bean.
It is Bean, isn't it? Michael Bean. Yeah. I've been watching his, and I have to say they're pretty good. So very good. Welcome back, Mr. E.
It's good to be back. Sorry about that. I had to switch computers.
Oh my God! Now the timing and the clarity and everything. Plus, you've now got a cool avatar. I mean, it's all there. It's all happening.
Again, apologize.
Did you have a particular show or movie that you wanted to discuss today, in addition to the ones we were already talking about?
Not off the top of my head. Honestly, here lately, I'm just going back through some of my favorites. I've been on a Coen Brothers kick. Something like Blood Simple, Lebowski, and what else?
Yeah, well, it all started with Blood Simple. But for me, Raising Arizona was the first film of theirs. It would be good to do a Coen Brothers special at some point. But we'll touch on them briefly. See which film is people's favourites. Okay, all right. So why don't we do a poll for the chat? And don't let me forget about it. I always start polls and then I forget to see who won before we finish them. Now, if we were going to say what are the top Coen Brothers 4 films to choose from, right? I would say that Fargo, and I would say the Irish one. God, what's it called? What's the Irish film with Coen Brothers? One. Miller's Crossing.
Oh,
that is a Coen. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I would say that Fargo and Miller's Crossing absolutely have to be 2 of the choices. What would you say their other 2 best films are?
Personally, I would say, of course, Raising Arizona, like you, was the first one I came across.
I choose a Brother Will.
You choose which one, Rachel?
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
No.
Brother, Where Art Thou?
Big Lebowski and No Country for Old Men in there.
You have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's also decent.
Mr. E, it's your topic. I'm gonna let you pick the other 2 for this little questionnaire I'm gonna put up. So what would be the other 2 you would pick? So we've got Fargo, Miller's Crossing, and what?
Raising Arizona, because like you, it was the first one that really hooked me into the Coen Brothers, and then of course No Country for Old Men.
Great. All right. So those people that are watching, we're starting a poll. You can vote for your favorite Coen Brothers film. Let us know which one. Just click on the poll now. The poll is live now. Big Lebowski's not in there. Sorry about that, Aaron. Okay. All right. We'll come back to the Coen Brothers in a minute. As it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws, let's start with that. Some people will think that's the Jaws music, but it was actually just Critter's rear. So, Jaws 50th anniversary. Now, this is a film that I saw on re-release. So I think I saw it around 1978. And I know I saw it on re-release because Jaws 2 came out about 6 months later. So I think they re-released it in the UK. A lot of us who were too young to go and see it the first time around in whenever it was, I think probably was 76 in the UK, because it would have been a year after America. We got to go and see it finally, because amazingly it was a certificate A. It was this really quite gory, scary film, and it did have a bit of blood in it. How that wasn't a AA certificate, I don't know, because you had the bit where like Robert Shaw gets his body kind of bitten, the eyeball floats out with the guy under the boat. I mean, God, that scared the shit out of us kids. We were proper traumatized, but I was so glad that I got to watch it on the big screen. And yeah, 50 years and it's being re-released. I'm going to try and take my current partner to see it before she goes home. She's going home in about 22 days. So we're trying to fit in as many films as we can before then. She's never seen Jaws. So,
wow.
That's great. I mean, she's literally never seen anything. She's not seen Die Hard. She hasn't seen Raiders. You know, I've been like Lord of the Rings trilogy, all brand new experiences. It's great. So we're having this lovely revival of best movies that she's never seen, and I love introducing people to great films. But that's a topic for another day. So, yeah, that's my first experience of seeing Jaws. Rachel, where were you when you saw it? What was the impact on young Percy?
Well, I still can't swim because of this movie. I didn't trust myself in the water. I watched it when I was 5 or 6. So it would have been early 90s when I got to see it, probably on TV. And yeah, I was terrified of sharks, hated sharks, and now I think they're the most beautiful thing in the ocean. So my tastes have changed a little bit. But truly terrifying when you watch it. And you're already a little dubious about the water. And then you watch this and it's like, no, I'm never setting foot anywhere near anything deeper than a puddle ever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not joking. Like, kids were literally scared to sit on the toilet.
Yeah.
When this film came out. There was a joke that went round. I don't know who started it, but it was just when you thought it was safe to go back to the toilet. That was the joke. And you know, little kids would be like, you'd literally be asking your mum, can sharks like swim up the toilet? It's the same thing with the giant alligator movie that came out a few years after this. Yeah, interesting. So TV experience for you. Critical, where were you?
Strange enough, I actually read the book before I saw the film.
I think I did as well. I think I did.
My dad used to get the Reader's Digest books. If you remember the books, it was just like loads of bits of books in books.
And it had a bit of naughtiness in it, didn't it, at the beginning? So you were.
It did.
Like,
yeah, I mean, Hooper has an affair basically with Brody's wife in the book.
Right. That's right.
Which
and Hooper also dies in the book. I mean, spoiler alert, but yeah.
And the shark dies completely different. It's like not a Hollywood way at all. It just runs out of steam, basically. It just finally dies. Just before eating Brody. It's literally swimming towards him to eat him, and then it just asphyxiates because it can't deal with it anymore. And once the shark
Something tells me that would not have worked as well in the cinema.
No, exactly. You need that big bombastic Hollywood kind of that wouldn't work in the film. We all know that films are changed for a reason, but I watched this loads of times when I was a kid. Absolutely loads of times. I was obsessed with sharks as a kid. I've got loads of books. I've even got the book that Brody is looking through in the film.
You being obsessed with some strange type of killer creature, Al. That's so unlike you.
Who could have guessed? But yeah, I was obsessed with sharks. Ron and Valerie Taylor were heroes of mine, and they're the Australian conservationists that got the live footage of the great white that they put in, into the film when the mechanical robot shark Bruce wouldn't do the trick. So I saw Jaws loads throughout my developing years and that kind of stuff. But I recently saw it at the cinema last week.
Yeah, it's on re-release at the moment, isn't it?
Yep. And the cinema was empty, which was a complete crime. But I loved it. I loved watching it.
Dying, guys. I hate to say, I'm a film director, and my dream is to have a movie premiere somewhere, and it's full of a paying public.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I mean, you know,
it's
when you're going to get the chance to see
fine.
Jaws at the cinema again, it should have been rammed.
It should have been, really.
And it's one of the
Yeah.
greatest films ever made. The rule
Yeah.
of thirds and the way that Spielberg uses it in that film to show Brody as an outsider is incredible. He's
Mhm.
hardly ever at the center of the frame until the end of the film,
Yeah.
when he finally takes his place. It's always an Amity Islanders at the center of the frame, and if Brody's on his own in the screen, in the frame, he's off to the side to indicate his position as an outsider. The use of the dolly shot is famous. It's studied in film school. You know, that reverse zoom shot when he's on the beach. I can't say enough about this movie.
That was Hitchcock that came up with that, wasn't it originally?
Yeah,
the dolly shot.
Yeah, it was. That's a Hitchcock.
And then you find out that Dreyfus and Shaw hated each other in real life, which adds to the animosity.
I've seen the play The Shark is Broken, and I mean it was nuts because the three actors that they had, my God, they look just like them. And of course, one of them is actually Shaw's real son.
Oh wow!
So
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a really good play. It was on at the Edinburgh Festival. It got a West End transfer to London, and I got to see it twice. I got to see it with the understudy cast as well, because my casting director cast the guy who played Roy Schneider, and he was great as well. I mean, he proper had him down. So, you know,
it's a phenomenal movie, and I live in the eternal fear that one day they're going to remake it and it's going to be shit.
Oh no, it will never be as good. This whole sequence is great as well. Absolutely love this sequence, and you know they've got all those guys are out there on the boats. They've got the guns.
Yeah, and the kids in the
fin coming towards them. Two little kids bob up, and the other one goes, "He made me do it. He made me do it."
And the water splash him in the mouth as he's choking on it.
Yeah,
no more realer scene than that.
Critter, where were you when you first saw this?
You know, as we started going down the panel, I realized I'm pretty sure I didn't see it in the theater because I would have been too young. My parents were pretty strict about the R-rated. But I've seen the movie so often on VHS and DVD and TV. I honestly don't remember the first time I saw it. I just kept watching the damn thing because I thought it was so amazing. So, I had a fear of the water. It took quite a while for me to get, further beyond my waist because according to the movie, you can only get attacked just almost in 3 feet of water. So it's kind of like, I'll just hang around up to my kneecaps maybe and sit down on the shore. But I watch this movie as often as possible, especially if it's on, whether it's TV or cable. I'll catch it. And I think it was on Amazon Prime for a bit, and I would watch it a bit. And the big parenting mistake is at the age of 4, I showed the movie to my now 7-year-old because he's all in the sharks. Hey, let's watch the shark movie, not realizing I would have to stop it and show him documentary clips and explain how movies are made, that it wasn't a real shark. And it would, my wife was so mad. So it kind of caused about a year's worth of issues exposing a 4-year-old to the giant shark that eats people. But now we're watching the Meg and the Meg 2 and even the awful Jaws Revenge. So we're watching all the other shark stuff now at the age of 7. So he knows it's all fake.
I saw Jaws the Revenge at the cinema. I actually saw it at Empire Leicester Square. And I remember we came out of that movie and I was like, was it me or was that pretty shit? And my then girlfriend was like, it wasn't very good. And
Sharks
I think we had a couple of like a run of bad movies around that time that we saw together, because we also made the mistake of going to see No Retreat, No Surrender, made by Cannon with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and it was so bad. And like that's the one with Bruce Lee where he comes back from the dead, and it was really bad. It was the only movie we hadn't seen, and it was, shall we risk it? Oh, let's go and see it. It was awful. But Mr. E Reviews, when did you first see this?
I know I didn't see it on the initial run. I saw it when in a double feature that the cinema was throwing. They had Jaws 1 and 2 when Jaws 2 released. So it's about 8 or 9 when that happened. Okay. So I wasn't really terrified. I grew up, spent summers on my grandfather's boat. So to me, it was just like, oh, this is Hollywood. So it never really bothered me. I spent plenty of time in the ocean. and around a lot of sharks. So I was just like, meh. I didn't get it so much until I started watching the audience. I actually went to watch the audience and see what their reaction would be.
Right.
But I loved it. It's a great movie. It's cinematically and you know, the fact that they had issues with the shark and then had to shoot the scene kind of, you know, ability just basically letting your mind fill in what was going on and you know, letting yourself scare yourself. That's the part I loved about it.
I wonder if
very
the
happy
shark-
mistake
the shark
that wasn't it?
worked. If the shark had worked well, would the movie be as good? Like I know
don't
that
think
the whole
it
thing, the mechanical shark not working kind of helped.
Mm.
But what if the shark worked and Spielberg got the shark in all the different shots he wanted? Would it just be like a monster movie?
No, I think if the shark had worked, I still think we essentially would have got the same film, because he was, even then, he was clever enough to know the less of the monster you see, the better. So when they would have got in the edit suite, I think they still would have ended up, you might have had a bit more of it here and there, but I think you would have ended up with a very similar cut. So, Toxic, welcome, sir. I know you were running a bit late. Good to see you. Where were you when you first saw Jaws?
Yeah. So I'm from Florida, and I'm a bit of a beach water baby type. You know, it's pretty much expected by 4 or 5 you should be able to swim pretty proficiently. But me being sort of slow and fat and obstinate, the pool at the YMCA wasn't really cutting it. In fact, I have a vivid memory of seeing that big Red Cross thing come towards me as they just, because back then they would just throw you in the water and have you figure it out after a few lessons. So basically, after playing in the sand and just kind of on the sandbar and doing this or that, and I hadn't learned how to swim, my dad, unbeknownst to my mom, got a VHS tape of Jaws and showed it to me and said, if you don't learn how to swim, you little fat shit, a shark will come out and get you, even if you're on the sandbar. So that's how I learned.
That's pretty fun.
I like
sometimes it's the carrot, sometimes it's the stick.
Yeah, Lance will never be tired of my traumatic childhood stories and finding them hilarious. So
No,
thank you for
it's
laughing at my pain.
Mate, I live for those moments. That's what gets me through the day, man. So
Nice.
I appreciate you aiding me in that endeavor once more.
Yeah, Toxic, that sounds like a warm family story to me, considering you remember my uncle going nuts in the movie theater during Rambo.
Good times.
Oh,
good times. Good times.
Yeah. Would that be a like Vietnam PTSD?
He was a vet.
Story?
Yeah, he brought it. He decided to bring it up on our 85 stream the other day, the one that you ducked out on.
Well, I didn't duck out on. I was not available. So. Dude, come on, man.
You can dish it out, but you can't take it. All right, yeah, I get it.
You missed Luke having not watched any of the movies.
Oh yeah, you missed some good stuff. You missed some good stuff.
Have you literally not seen any of those movies?
None. Like
Luke, not have seen Back to the Future. It's one of the best movies.
I saw Back to the Future, but I mean, like we discussed like 20 something films from 85, Lance. Like we had more than we could reasonably discuss in 4 hours, but every time something came up, Luke was like, I've not seen it actually. And and
then you would boot him out.
Yeah.
That was the best part.
Right.
Lance, I'll put it to you this way. On rewatch, me and my wife made a drinking game out of it.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I mean, because you did ask me for my top 5 picks, and
no, we used we used all of your picks. Were used, yes, sir.
Yeah, I was able to come up with a list really fast because it was such a good year for great movies. And one of my favorites was Silverado. And don't forget, of course, we get them slightly later than you back then.
Yeah, Luke has not seen Silverado, and we all said we were going to snitch on him to you for that.
Yeah, Cocoon was another one of mine. I mean, I probably like Cocoon even more than Back to the Future, to be honest. I rewatch it every year. It just means more to me. It's got more memories attached. I sat down and watched it with my parents. It's the last film my grandmother saw before she died.
Oh, okay.
Because I made her watch it and said, Gran, you've got to watch this. This is what's going to happen to you when you die. This sort of thing. So obviously she was really pleased.
Oh God.
You're going to get
suddenly the fat kid being traumatized isn't quite as shocking with Lance's declaration.
No, I mean, I didn't say that exact words, but basically the reason I wanted her to watch it was because I thought it was such a positive movie for somebody of those years. There weren't many mainstream films with characters in the forefront of the story that were that age. I mean, probably after that one, you might have had to wait for Driving Miss Daisy. We're getting slightly off topic.
Batteries Not Included, maybe. When was that?
Oh, that's
that also starred Hume Cronin and Jessica Tandy. That came out.
Yeah.
I think that came out in '88, if I remember rightly.
Okay.
I think that's right.
With
That
film.
seems right.
Yeah, I like the idea of that movie, but I think the script was not fantastic.
I took my grandmother to see The Evil Dead, and I told her, when you die, that's what's going to happen.
Oh man, that's a different way to go. But I felt like I wanted to take her down a different journey into outer space and live forever and meet up with Granddad, that kind of stuff. So, but it's a beautiful film. I saw it with my dad at the cinema as well. So, yeah, Tom, got to rewatch Cocoon. So, yeah, but Jaws, yeah, I've got currently I'm seeing someone who's never seen this movie.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for the tube strike, we've got a subway strike in London at the minute.
Oh yeah,
going
of course,
on
it was striking.
5 days.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that strike, I would be taking her to the IMAX to see it at the IMAX tomorrow because it's such a phenomenal movie.
Yeah, this re-release is doing really, really well in theaters. This theater re-release is doing good. It's something to see Shaw to give that monologue about you know, dropping the Hiroshima bomb and talking about all his mates that were killed in the water. Seeing that on the big screen is really something else.
I was just drinking in all the details that you don't normally get to see on a smaller screen. I was just appreciating all of the cinematography, you know, the framing that Spielberg was using, all that kind of stuff that just doesn't immediately hit you when you watch it on the display.
There were some producers that wanted to cut that scene. They wanted to cut that speech.
Isn't there always some very specific scene to a stellar movie, and they want to like, yeah.
And I bet the same Dick that said that, you know, after the movie it came out, probably was in some bar and said, "Oh yeah, that speech was my idea." You know.
Yeah. Oh, surely.
Probably.
You know why? Because success has many failures, but as many fathers, but failures and orphan.
I was going to say, like, something similar was with George Lucas in the first Star Wars film. Some executives didn't want just end it when they escaped the Death Star. There was not going to be a final battle. So I kind of feel like, you know, these suits usually don't know what the hell they're talking about.
They don't. They're not creatives. They're just the money men. They don't know what makes a great movie.
But back then they used to have artists and directors and producers that would push back and fight. Now they do whatever the suits want to do to neuter or homogenize or you know, just milk toast a film. They just like, oh, okay, yeah, let's film by committee. Brr.
Well, not only that, but the 70s versus the 80s. 70s, this was the time when Hollywood's pretty much going broke, and they basically gave it to these younger directors. Here, let the kids try it. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah.
Hollywood kind of backed out of it. And for a
while,
while,
went to summer blockbuster.
Yep.
I will say, if they had made that decision and the film had ended with them, you know, they get out the Death Star, you have the TIE fighters come after them, you don't have Vader's line about the tracking and all that, and then it ends with them coming back to the Rebel base and sort of giving the information about the plans. Maybe that's the ending. I don't know. They get some medals. That's the ending. I still think the film would have been a massive hit because it was so different and so out there, and so spectacular. You still could have ended it there. It would have been a huge hit, and you could have started Empire Strikes Back with the attack on the Death Star.
Sure.
It'd probably be about a solid 90 minutes as well, wouldn't it? I can't remember how long Star Wars is.
Don't get me wrong. I'm glad. I'm not saying I wish they'd done that. I'm so glad they didn't, because I remember when we got taken to see that. This was with the same group of kids I went to see Jaws with. And it was Peter Escritt's birthday. It was packed out. There was about 10 of us kids and 2 parents. And I remember, like, you know, we were the noisiest bunch of kids ever, and I've never seen that group of kids so quiet. We were all the troublemakers at school, you know, and we didn't make a noise apart from the cheer when the logo came up.
I would love to have seen Troublemaker Lance. I'd give anything to see Troublemaker Lance. That sounds amazing.
You've seen me on camera loads of times. What are you on about?
Yeah,
So, but anyway, it was just, I'm so glad I'm of that generation that saw it on the big screen, and this, because the cinema experience is dying so rapidly. The kids of today, they just don't get it. I just don't think that.
No. Like I said, my screening was empty, literally empty.
Yeah.
See, that's so crazy, because it's like I took my son to see the anniversary re-release of Silence of the Lambs, and he freaking loved it. He had never heard of it. And, go ahead.
Yeah, but Toxic.
No.
Like our ages we're the guys that grew up. Guys and girls that grew up going to the theater, and it's kind of fallen off a cliff. While today's youths are all on the YouTube on their handheld screen. So, Toxic, you're bringing your kid to see a movie in a big theater because when you were younger, you had for me, I had great experiences because my dad and my mom took me to the theater, Disney films, Star Wars. I'm sorry, the kids these days, they're on their iPad and their iPhones watching TikTok.
Yeah, you don't got to convince. You don't got to convince me. It's a completely different way to consume entertainment,
and the only reason that your kid is being blown away by the theater because you're holding on to that concept and taking them to the theater.
Yeah,
and it's a real shame that Jaws was empty, as you were saying, Cradle Al. That's just sad. That's sad that a great film is not.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure people are rewatching, but it's a shame that the youths are not going out to experience. I remember when The Exorcist was re-released. All the young guys, it was boring, it was dull, it was boring. I'm like, oh my god! And this is like, 2008, I think it was re-released in the theater.
Yeah.
So the youths just don't get it. It's
I live for re-releases, like when Chinatown was re-released a few years ago and that came in the big screen.
Nice.
I mean, especially if it was something that I could not have gone conceivably, like obviously Jaws was before I was born, Chinatown was before I was born. So especially if it was something, or if it was something that was so like a watershed moment like Silence of the Lambs, I'll never forget. Like, you know, I had to get my mom to take me because I was only 13. And, you know, it was, you know, and I mean, it's like, you know, me and Lance have the same opinion. It's just like the theater experience is unlike anything else. I mean, it's expensive and it's a pain in the ass, but at the same time, just going to the theater, everything from the pre-show stuff to the seats to the crowd, if you have one, or the lack of one if you don't, and
35 minutes of trailers.
Sure. Well, I mean, it gets there. So I never really get too bothered by that. I don't care for commercials that they've kind of slid in, but they've kind of gone away from that. They were getting really bad for a little while with the commercials, but now, I mean, you might see something that's like promoting a Disney show or a Netflix show, and I'm a little bit more forgiving of that. But there was a little area of time where they were doing like just straight up commercials that you were seeing on TV were showing up in the theater, and I was like, what is this? They seem to have gotten away from that, at least in my region.
They've largely gone now, and the reason is because it's just not profitable for them to spend the money required to have advertising on cinemas anymore. The cinemas aren't making the same profit either. That was one of their main sources of income, was advertising revenue.
Yeah.
And they're not getting that anymore. And their second main source, of course, is the confectionery, you know, popcorn and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
The markup on that is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the area where they make the least money is on the ticket sales. That's their least profitable part. That's why they try to have the films on as many times a day as possible, especially since they've gone to automated.
Well, see, now that's what. But maybe you know the answer.
Sorry. Let me just make this point before we go too far off. Just picking up on something Toxic said when you said you took your son to see Silence of the Lambs and he loved it. I've taken several friends of mine's kids to see various different films, like Roger Moore's The Spy Who Loved Me. I took my ex's niece to see Alien and Aliens. You know, and this is a 17-year-old African-American girl who you wouldn't have thought necessarily would have been the right market for that. She absolutely fucking loved it. Same with the other kids as well. Took some other kids to see Wrath of Khan, which there was a screening of today in London at 6 o'clock, which I couldn't get to because of the tube strike. So all of these kids loved all of those films, and what they all had in common was they'd not seen the films before, so they were seeing them for the first time ever on the big screen, which is always the best place to see these films in particular for the first time. And I was picking films that I knew that they would like. Not every kid's necessarily going to love The Exorcist, even if they're seeing it for the first time. If they've seen, let's say, they've seen all the Saw movies, they ain't going to be impressed with The Exorcist. But I think films like Alien and Aliens are so unique and haven't been topped in that specific genre. There isn't a science fiction horror action film that is better than Aliens. There just isn't. Aliens is the top of the tree. So you're showing somebody the best of the best of the best when you take them to see that movie for the first time. And if it's a double bill with Alien, well, boom, you know. I haven't obviously recommended she watches Alien Earth, but so I think there is a way to get kids into seeing these things, and a lot of it is down to the parents or down to the older generations like us. And I don't have kids of my own, so I'm always taking other people's kids to the cinema with me, you know, saying, "Oh, I'll take them to see this, I'll take them to see that." It's like an inherent responsibility of mine as a filmmaker.
Yeah, you don't.
Honestly,
pull
I
up
think
in
we
a
need to
giant white
condition them.
van, do you?
What's that?
We just need to clockwork orange them.
You don't pull up in a giant white van and have all the kids pile in.
No, I don't have a driver's license. I normally go.
Everybody
To be
come
fair,
with me, and there will be free candy.
I'm normally the organizer. The parents or a relative normally come along. I'm not the organizer. So let's get away from that topic, please. But I do like organising these trips because I like people to see films that are good for the first time. On the big screen.
I love experiencing watching someone watch something that is very special to me.
And that memory will stay with them forever. It's like when I got taken to see Star Wars, when I got taken to see Spy Love Me for the first time. I wish I'd seen Bridge Too Far on the big screen for the first time. I didn't. I saw it on TV, but you know, so things like that. But anyway, all right, we'll move away from Jaws unless anyone's got a final comment they really want to make.
I do. Yeah, I do. I know it was late, so I apologize. So I went ahead and reread the book. And man, I was really just blown away. Maybe you already covered this. The book is so different than the film.
We covered that. We covered that before you came in.
I read the book before I saw the film. Peter Benchley massively regretted writing the book in the end because of the impact it had on shark populations. And Peter Benchley actually appears in the film as the reporter reporting on the beach. But yeah, he had massive regrets over writing Jaws.
It would make an interesting Consider the Source episode just for the fact that it's
I'm up for it, dude.
It's both. Oh, okay. I'll take you up on that. It's both more information and less compelling. So you get like a lot more story plot. And then the third act is like really anticlimactic, which you probably have already pointed out.
As I was saying, the shark just dies. It doesn't get blown
just
up.
dies.
It just runs out of speed.
You know,
Steam,
and then the most dynamic character, arguably Shaw, is he's very one note in the book, which is interesting that he would have been more developed in the film. But I mean, it does happen. So I mean, you know, and so you know, I find that to be pretty. It's not a long read if you have time.
As I say, it was in my dad's Reader's Digest books. So
you can get it in a Reader's Digest,
like that, and then there'll be 50 books in that book, kind of thing.
I just want to throw out two things before we get off of Jaws. Critical Al, were you disappointed by the movie? You read the book first, saw the movie. Were you disappointed by the movie because it wasn't like the book, or did you enjoy the film no matter what?
One word answer, please. Yes or no?
Yes. I enjoyed the film regardless because I understand
one
things
last
have
thing.
to be changed.
I believe there's an extended cut, an unused footage of the Kittner boy attack that was more violent, and I would love to find that footage and watch that.
I've seen it. I've seen the edit of that. It is out there. It was on YouTube about a year ago. I don't know if it's still there. They may have taken it down, but yeah, it is out there. I think it's an extra on one of the anniversary edition DVD sets.
I'd like to see that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're only talking about 5 or 6 seconds of extra stuff, but
so it's not that much of an alteration.
No, you just see
Not really.
there's another shot from the beach where the mother sees like him literally getting pulled under, and you see more of the shark. Whereas in the, you know, obviously Spielberg, like I said, when he was in the edit suite, I feel like he did make a conscious effort. Actually, I'm going to pull right back on the shark as much as I can until the end, which was the right decision. Because there is a version of that where you see a lot more of it, and it doesn't look bad, and it is a bit more gory, but I think it gives more suspense as to exactly what's out there. I think it was the right decision. We're going to move on now to this, which won't be a long discussion. So this is available on Apple TV. It's the latest film from Spike Lee. Who I like some of his stuff and some not so much. Denzel Washington is an actor who, for the most part, I would say 75-80% of his films I've really enjoyed. I generally do like him as an actor. I have had different friends work with him who've had different things to say about him. Some love him, some not so much. But we're not here to talk about, it's not a Denzel special. Now, this film, the premise of it, and what's interesting about this film is it's an Akira Kurosawa remake. And of course, at the minute, I'm directing a stage play about The Magnificent Seven, which of course is a Akira Kurosawa remake of The Seven Samurai, right? And Highest to Lowest is this remake. I haven't seen the original Akira Kurosawa film. I don't know if Spike Lee was trying to imitate it, but there are some films which have a score in almost every scene, and it's very much dominates the scene to the point that it's intrusive on the acting. And you've got top class actors in this, so they don't need emotional piano music all the way through their dialogue scenes, but that's what you get. I mean, there's probably about 3 or 4 minutes of this film that have no music in it at all. There's a really great scene at the end of Magnolia, which is that ensemble piece that the director of Boogie Nights did right after Boogie Nights, because he knew that the studios would never, while they said, what do you want to make? You can make anything you want. And he said, right, I'm going to make this crazy film Magnolia about all these different perspectives of these people's lives who cross-connect. If you haven't seen the film, you should. It's very good, but I've noticed that people that saw it at the cinema like it a lot more than people who watched it on DVD or video. But Magnolia has this amazing sequence towards the end of the film where the music really sells that sequence and builds up this drama of these various different narratives colliding, and it really works. And it's like somebody watched that movie and went, oh, what if I do that all the way through the movie? It really kills the film. And I was thinking, is this just me, or you know, am I being Mr. Grumpy here, or what? And I thought, well, let me go and look at the reviews on IMDb, because a lot of people have watched it. You've got 376 reviews already. It's only just literally come out. And I mean, the second review says it all. Look, ruinous score. It's difficult to take this movie in or take it seriously. Ironically, about a music mogul, Spike's use of a continuous, distracting, misaligned, wildly inappropriate, cheesy score by Lawrence Manchester. The opening track was pure cringe. Hard to imagine what Spike could have been attempting beyond irony. I have to agree. And look, the next review, soundtrack is unbearable. So truly Highest to Lowest, a good film, horrible background music, hard to watch. The scoring supplies. Again, here, disappointing, very misfitting score that belonged in a Star Wars type film. That could not be more accurate. I mean, watch this film and see if you agree. But look how many worst soundtrack ever. Look at these people. This is funny. This one goes meh, but he's put 10 out of 10. Maybe he got hacked. Who knows? Highest to Lowest, worst Denzel movie ever. Find me worst acting. I don't agree that the acting was bad. The acting was fine. But there were a couple of actors in it who were not great. I mean, there's a white actor who's playing a really annoying cop, and it just feels like Spike Lee basically said to him, your character's racist, be as annoying as you can. And he took that on board wholeheartedly. And I think the actor probably went, well, I'm going to play this guy as a really two-dimensional stereotyped white man because that's what Spike Lee's telling me to do. I think the actor did that deliberately. But it's yeah. I mean, you can see from these reviews, it's not great. I'm interested to know what people think of it. But the music absolutely killed it for me. I think if it had not had music, 20% of the film only, and maybe somebody had sat down with the script and looked at a few things, I was expecting a much bigger twist than I got as well. I really thought a couple of the characters were going to be behind this whole thing, and they weren't. It's basically about a music mogul who's on the precipice of a big deal when his son gets kidnapped and there's a demand for 17 million Swiss francs. So it's I mean, and it then becomes this whole kind of cat and mouse thing with the hostage taker and so on. But has anyone else seen it? Is it just me?
No, I started it and I was probably about 15-20 minutes into it before I just backed out of it. It didn't reel me in. I felt like it was dialed. It was really just phoned in by Lee. Do you know what I mean about the music as well? I mean, right. I'm pretty sure that was in the back of my head going, this sucks. And I just get to this point where I'd sit there and I'm like, okay, there's no way I can pay attention. If I start looking at my phone, I know it's time to just back out and just stop watching.
Yeah.
It's such a modern crutch as well, using music to manipulate the audience. Star Trek is really bad for it these days. Really bad. Like Discovery, which bring in emotional music when Burnham starts crying or they're having feelings in hallways talk. It never used to be that way. It never needed to do that. But now they always use music to manipulate the audience in ways that they never used to. It's got 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, unsurprisingly.
That means nothing. That means
I know it means nothing because critics are critics, but I'm just saying that's what it's got.
I mean, Rotten Tomatoes has proven to be extremely unreliable, from what I'm told.
There was a time when they were the go-to, like grounded. You could go to RT and you knew you were getting a good review or an accurate one, but now they're all basically bought and paid for shills.
Well, Captain Marvel, they changed the rules for it, didn't they? So
pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
I was gonna say, like, everyone here is kind of knocking the film. I do like Denzel Washington, but after hearing this, I think I want to go try to check out the 63 high and low Akira Kurosawa's film.
Yeah, I'd like to see that movie. I have to say, because I mean, I'd also be interested to know, was music such a dominating aesthetic in the original? I don't think it was, but we shall see. Anyway,
Lance, get it real quick. I'll put it to you this way: this movie feels like these are actors, directors that need to kind of step aside, let a younger generation come in and actually see what they can do. Maybe, I don't know, mentor something. This just felt like it's almost like Ridley Scott in a way where he won't get out of his own way. He's just making a mess. And this just feels like the beginning of the end for Spike Lee. It does.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate he may have tried to want to do something different, but it definitely didn't work.
Lance, the more that we see this kind of depreciating value in certain directors, it makes you really think, where they're kind of sniffing their own farts a little bit, and they're not, like, it really makes you think that, at the time when QT came out and said, I will only direct the 10 films and I'm putting a cap on it, this seemed like really kind of ridiculous. They were like, all your films have been bangers, like, why are you doing such an odd thing? But now it starts to be like, what, maybe he is onto something. Maybe, maybe once you get past a certain thing, then you'll start cannibalizing your films like George Lucas, or giving away your studio, or making Blue Alien films that, are billions of dollars, but are just basically screensavers and have no soul and story. And maybe you're just going to make 6-hour mafia biopics and, and things like that.
I like Avatar. Sorry, I'm going to say I'm a fan.
I'll fight you on Avatar.
When
Bring
Avatar
it, Rachel.
comes out,
Bring it.
When Avatar 3 comes out, we'll have a fun stream. All right.
Yeah, I'll be watching Avatar 3. I said when I walked out of Avatar 2, I don't want James Cameron to ever stop making movies. I just want him to
Right,
stop writing movies.
I'm going to give that film 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, I forgot to do this. I'm going to assume from the panel all round that this is going to be Jaws is 10 out of 10 from everyone, right?
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no way you give it anything else.
8
You
out
don't
of
even
10.
need to ask.
Did someone give it an 8? Who gave it an 8?
Who said that?
Mystery.
Feed him to the sharks.
I did. Mystery will own up to it. Like I said,
All right.
8 out of 10. It's a solid movie.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah. If you were
but you have to give him a little grace. Give him a little grace. He probably lost a couple of his Navy friends into the ocean, and maybe they were eaten. Yeah. Is that what happened? And
Oh,
that what happened?
We fed the Navy to the sharks.
Ah,
screw the squids.
Someone got killed by a great white about 3 days ago in Australia.
Yeah, it was just the other day about
3 years.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was quite nice timing with the 50th anniversary release. Yeah. I mean, you can ask for better
publicity stunt. This is a publicity stunt.
I mean,
the guy in marketing just doused someone in chum and kicked him off the boat.
Listen, we got to get asses in the seats, guys. We got to get some people.
We got to get these butts in seats. Larry, what are you doing this weekend? Come with me on my boat.
Why are you slathering up my wetsuit with seal fat?
It smells awful. Come down here and come some of this shit.
We're moving on. This documentary is on Netflix. I recommended it to Toxic. I briefly mentioned it last week. Said it was worth watching. Tox gave it a view.
I watched it.
Yeah, like I said, the thing that I thought was particularly good about this piece was that all the major players that were involved took part. There were no actor stand-ins. And I mean, when you hear about what actually happened, oh my God.
Are we spoiling? Are we spoiling, Lance?
I mean, yeah, I guess we can spoil this week. We talked about it last week. If you mute us now, if you don't want to know and you're planning on watching it. But the basic plot is that this, lovely girl who's dating a lovely guy. It's very much a high school teenage romance thing. They both start getting bombarded with texts. She's being told she's shit and thin and all the rest of it. And he's being told, what's he going out with that girl for? She's a loser. And ultimately they break up and the texting kind of stops for a while, but then it restarts and becomes really, really quite vicious and results in, strains on relationships. The relationship breaks down with the teenagers. They don't really talk to each other anymore. And, and the FBI ultimately get involved in this and because it goes on for so long and it involves so many different parties. And when this agent finally takes it seriously and they do the required checks, things that cost a lot of time and money, they're able to break through the 3 or 4 various sort of screens that the perpetrator used to commit this crime. And you find out that the girl's mum is the person behind it all. So she has been,
dun, dun, dun.
She's been demoralizing and destroying her own daughter and watching it right before her fucking eyes. And I mean, and this piece of news, by the way, there's a great bit in the documentary where the husband finds out that it's her when they come to arrest her. And he literally says, it's caught live on camera. You and me are fucking done. There's no way we're ever coming back from this. And I don't blame him. And actually, he's a pretty good looking guy, kind of reminded me of Toxic a bit. And I'm thinking he's going to do all right. He's a pretty dashing dude. And I could just see that loads of gorgeous women are going to be inboxing him after this. After this documentary. But Tox, what did Toxic? What did you think?
I did again, Lance. I do have a little bit of Netflix fatigue. You and my girlfriend are equally obsessed with Netflix for whatever the reason, and she has access to my Plex Pass. But Sunday afternoon ish, very pleasant day, and we're cleaning the house and she turns this on and I'm like, oh, Chris, come on, I don't want to watch this. And she's like, no, you could talk about it on Lance's show. And I'm like, ugh. And so
such a cool guy. He recommends you such cool things. You gotta watch
let
it.
me find out. Let me start seeing your name pop up in her phone, Lance, and I'm gonna book a flight over there to London and we're gonna have it out in the streets, my friend. Just so you know.
Dude, I'm gonna make sure if she does that during the week when my play's on, you're gonna come over.
Oh yeah, you don't want me showing up for that. Anyways, the more here, a lot of these documentaries are really, I mean, even if they have a compelling topic like the Gabby Petito one and things like that, even if they do, you find yourself kind of like, you know where it's going, you know what's happening. But this one had me like the way that they interviewed the people. I was like, man, what is and the thing escalates so much. What Lance didn't tell you is like, it goes from, hey, you suck at basketball to, hey, unalive yourself, you nasty bleeping. I'm gonna bleep your boyfriend with the inside of my bleep and I'm like, whoa. Why are these girls doing this to her? Like, what did she do wrong? It's a small Michigan town. And then when the big reveal happens, I'm like, what? And then you find out not only did the mom do this, the mom hasn't worked in 6 months. She's been lying to her husband about going to work. It's actually the mom. They really, the showrunners really manipulated this very, very well. And like Lance says, the dad's very authentic and completely reasonable react. Like when he first finds it, he goes, "Are you shitting me right now?" Like, so because it is incredible. It's and I don't mean incredible in a good way. I mean incredible in a like Hindenburg like way. Like it's just it's something. No.
I mean listen, if you're gonna watch one documentary and if you're gonna take one for the team and watch a doc with your partner who's into all the true crime shit, pick this one because I guarantee that you'll be engrossed. But the funny thing was, I was watching it with my good lady the other day. We decided to watch it together. We were actually not in the. I was at my place, she was at her place, and we were on the phone together and sort of. And we both watched the first 10 minutes, and I just said to her, "It's going to be one of the parents. It's either going to be the parents of
you really."
Boy. Yeah, I did. I called it in the first 10 minutes. I said, it's going to be one of the parents. I said, at first I thought it's going to be the parent of the boy.
And well, see, now I did think, I thought that too, the way that she
I got about 20 minutes in. We saw the boy's mother being interviewed. And I just went, no, it's not her. And then when I saw the girl's mother being interviewed, I was like, not sure about her. And so I thought it's got to be her. But I kept thinking it can't be her, but it's got to be her. And I was right, but I wasn't certain that I was right, if you know what I mean. I was just sort of thinking it's just it can't be her, so it must be her. That's what that was my
like a Law and Order episode. There's only so many suspects there can be, so you just kind of Had they given away the information,
where are you, man? No one said you could have a night off. You're supposed to be here. What's going on? Jaws is a movie about a closeted gay man who is going to come out to his wife and children. The shark represents his repressed homosexuality, and his shipmates are gay lovers. I think that's like the California Valley version of Jaws that you watched.
I think that's him projecting. I think that's called projecting in psychology terms.
Well, I said it does make sense because he does blow the shark.
Yeah. He says at the end he's loud and proud and swims off with Hooper, and his wife and kids are never seen again. Not true, because they turn up in the second one. So unfortunately that doesn't hold water. But if only there'd not been a sequel. Jaws movie is Sharksist, says Darth Plato. Anyway, going back to this is definitely one of the stronger docs I've seen. I'd give it, on a documentary rating, I'd give it sort of 8.5, even a 9 out of 10 as a enjoyment piece of entertainment. I guess it's a good 7. But when they're done well, I do like these. I mean, I have seen documentaries where I've literally jumped onto Instagram and I've written to a victim and said, "Oh my God, what happened to you is awful. This is a kindness of stranger letter, from London in the UK. We ain't ever going to meet or anything, but just wanted to say I feel really sorry that you lost your kid or you were betrayed.
Yeah.
I must have done that about 7 times. And this is one of those docs where I really wanted to write to the dad. I mean, I honestly wanted to write to the dad and say, dude, good news. Lots of ladies are going to be texting you pretty.
Dude, he is fighting them off. He is fighting them off with a stick out there. There's no way. I mean, he's getting more ass in a toilet seat for sure.
They could do a brilliant follow-up doc with him about how his romantic adventures, because he seemed like a really stand-up guy as well, trying to support his family. He was working all hours, and I certainly didn't pick up on any other things going on there. I mean, who knows? But he seemed like a really stand-up guy to me. So yeah, good documentary. What would you give it out of 10?
I'm going to give it a strong 9, just because, one, I like being wrong. I was wrong about it being just another crap Netflix thing. And then I was wrong about who I suspected was the culprit. I love being wrong, like, because it's so boring being right all the time, which I am most of the time in my work. And then I love just the way that they each episode kind of just dragged me in more and more, where I was like, okay, now I got to know. Like, I even ran off for a coffee run, and I was like, pause it. You got to pause it. And she's like, no, I'm not going to pause it. I hate pausing because it never starts back at the right spot. I was like, babe, you better pause this or pay really close attention and tell me what happened. So it's like one of those things. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 9 for that reason. So very, very compelling. One of the, I think I would stack it up right next to, I want to say Chris something or other, the one where the guy unalived his whole family, the pregnant wife and the kiddos. Like, and they had everything from like all their Facebook and Instagram and cop body cam footage. I forget the name of it, but that one I saw during the pandemic. And so these two are very, I'd stack them up pretty high. Yeah.
Well, before I get on to my guests' choices for this week, I'm going to just talk about another one that I suspect quite a few of you probably watched, because it's a sequel, and the first film was pretty popular. I think most of us generally, I know we discussed it last year, and most of us generally gave it like a solid 8 out of 10. So they made a sequel, of course, because people liked it. Nobody 2 has dropped on Netflix. Bob Odenkirk is back as the sort of semi-retired hitman. He kind of goes on this is a bit like Nobody meets National Lampoon's Vacation. I mean, it even has some of the same scenes. So if you imagine Chevy Chase, but he's a hitman and a really good fighter, not like Deal of the Century, then, you kind of get the idea. It's a bit ridiculous. It was a bit silly, but I kind of enjoyed it. It was a perfectly pleasant way to spend it. It's only like about 85 minutes. It's a pretty tight running time. It was quite weird seeing, Sharon Stone after so long. I hadn't seen her in quite a while playing the main villain. She was having fun with it, but she really didn't have much of an arc. There was no real dimensions to her character. Really felt like this was rushed. I think that they could have done a much better movie if they'd had some good writers on it and they'd taken their time with it a bit more. And I think this was really like a load of people got in a room. What can we make? And somebody, said, why don't we do like Assassins on Holiday? Because lots of people are doing Assassins on Holiday at the moment. There's about 3 other shows that have exactly the same narrative. But as I said, it was perfectly pleasant. I'll give my score in a moment. Who else has seen it? Toxic, Al, Critter, Mr. E, Rachel.
I saw it.
I saw it.
Toxic seen it. Mr. E's seen it. Rachel, you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Rachel, what did you think?
I was disappointed. I really loved the first one, and this one felt like, I don't know, like kind of what you said, that they were just like, well, what can we make a sequel to real quick? It didn't have the same heart to it. It just felt like a very corporate decision to make this movie. It was very disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, Odenkirk, who I think he's thinking of retiring soon. It's probably a big paycheck in it for him. So,
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
I really didn't think Sharon Stone. Yeah, she was having fun, but
We
was
weren't.
it a good performance?
But were we? I was about to say,
I
were
wasn't
we?
enjoying.
That's disappointing because I really loved the first one. I was looking forward to this. I got it on the. I have it to watch, and now I'm like, well, all right, because it's a short film. Maybe I'll still do it.
It's
if you have time to kill,
it's not absolutely awful, but it's a bit like 20th Century Fox made the first one. I'm not saying that, I don't think they did, but let's pretend. And Canon Films suddenly bought the rights and decided to make the second one. That's what it feels like. It feels like the second one was made by Canon.
Definitely.
And I was literally waiting for Chuck Norris to walk in as the villain on this scene.
Might have made it better.
Right. I'll tell you what killed it. What honestly killed it for me was the fact that it's a sequel. The minute I hear a sequel, I lose my chub. They never captured the first. Plus, it's another remake, another sequel.
Wow.
It's just somebody makes something original. I mean, this something was somewhat original, but it's just a copy of a copy. And we know. You
mean for everything, or do you mean for currently? Like
anything. Just
well, there's lots of sequels. There's lots of
John
good
Wick.
sequels.
The John Wick film, I love that first one, but then after kind of getting through the second one, I was done, and I'm not even going to bother with Ballerina.
Amen. I feel you.
Fucking boomers. There's too many boomers on this panel.
Yeah, I'm through Gen X.
Toxic. Get off my lawn.
I like the first two Wick movies. I didn't like the one set in Paris with the whole scene with the roundabout and going up that staircase. Honestly, though, throughout those action scenes, I was fucking bored. I was just like, this
the
joke.
The fourth one did take it over the top, but that's not. We're talking about Nobody too, so we'll discuss that.
Yeah. But they are tonally, they're quite similar movies. Actually, you could believe that this guy exists in the John Wick universe.
I like your analogy. Lance. The Nobody mixed with if Nobody and frickin' Family Vacation had a baby, this would be.
Well, and I love National Lampoon's Vacation. That's such a great movie, but Holiday Row. Anyway, but we'll start singing that. I can't give this anything more than a 6. And that's generous, actually.
Generous. That's really generous.
Yeah,
actually.
I think I'm going to have to say 5 because the script is so poor. The action's fine. The acting's fine. The supporting cast are mostly good. But I mean, Colin Hanks is in it. Tom Hanks' son, who's a great actor. And again, he has a very one-dimensional role.
Yeah, there's nothing to do.
He's better than this movie. Why did he choose this? He's better than this.
Ratings, please, panel. 5 from me.
3 from me, boss. This was. I didn't really. The first one didn't blow my skirt up. The only reason I even went to see it was the first movie in the pandemic I could go see, and this one is just like it's like a copy of a copy of a copy. It's just 3, and I'm being generous by giving it a 3.
Okay.
Didn't see it. Saw the trailers. Saw the reviews. Thought it looked crap and uninspired. Didn't bother.
You can just say I haven't seen it.
No faith.
I feel like I need to justify it.
Here is making me think that I have no faith in this film, but I'll still give it a shot in the next few days. I'll watch it, while I'm doing other work. Maybe, I don't know. That's sad.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give it a solid 2.
A 2.
Solid 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 like the poo. Okay.
Yep.
Very good. Wormy Spoons. There's 3 at best, and Aaron 6.5, probably being generous. What's the half? Tell me what the half is for, Aaron. I'm interested to know what aspect of the film earned that half.
Watching Sharon Stone get blown into the stratosphere, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that was the good thing about that.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
I was gonna yell spoiler alert, but I guess it doesn't really matter because I probably won't pay attention.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, She's the bad guy. It's nobody two. They're probably going to want to make a third one. Do you think the villains survive?
Good point.
I mean, if you were a betting man, which way would you go? Yeah. Okay. Rachel, we're gonna talk about your recommendation. It's called Hunky Hairy Man with Swords.
Exactly. That's its title. Official now. That's its title.
That is the literal translation of
Man.
El Turco. Hunky hairy man with swords will travel and beat people up. This is a new Italian show which I caught the trailer for. Funny enough, whilst looking for something completely different. It's set in the 1600s Europe. There's been a big invasion by the Ottoman Empire that's all gone a bit wonky. This guy ends up retreating to northern Italy and sort of ends up being involved in local politics, villains, saving villages from bad guys, all of that kind of stuff. But the important thing is he looks hunky, he's got long hair, and can ride a horse. So, Rachel, tell us what you thought. I recommended this to you because I thought you would like it. Did you tell us what you thought?
You were right. This is definitely my kind of show. It's up there with The Last Kingdom, but it's not that quality, but you can tell that it's in that vein. So yes, this is exactly the show that I would pick for myself. And he doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt at all. But it's a fantastic show. I feel like nobody's gonna watch it because
Wait, did you use your time travel machine again? Is that you standing behind him? You kind of got on set there and
I just made a quick jump back to the past.
Yeah, good job. I mean, it's got pretty high production value. There's a number of pretty convincing sets, pretty good costumes. Italian acting is very shouty and very big. It's always like they're on stage. But I do love Italian drama shows. I'm a big fan of Gomorrah and Romanzo Criminale, 1992, The Octopus. All of these shows. I've got them all on DVD. This is worth watching if you like your swords and castles. Stuff of this era. Gunpowder's just sort of coming into effect. That's Toxic there. Briefly appearing. That's literally him appearing from his time travel machine in the film accidentally. So time travel dyes your hair, so be careful about that. This could almost be a young Marlon Brando in this shot. This guy.
He does kind of look like him, doesn't he?
He does a bit. There's definitely a Brando photo of him pulling up a hood like that. Looks almost exactly the same. Do you want to tell us briefly what it's about? Because I've only seen the first episode.
Well, it's following the siege of Vienna, the second siege of Vienna, and it doesn't go as planned. So
because everybody thought immediately you were talking about the first one. Good you clarified that.
Oh yeah, you want to be clear when you're talking about history. You know how people get.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But afterwards, he goes to the north of Italy and he's trying to fight for the rights of his people. And honestly, one of the better shows that I've seen around such a subject matter recently. I've seen some terrible ones. Oh my God. But I would put this right under The Last Kingdom in terms of quality.
Yeah.
I think they really did try to make it look as good as possible.
And way above 1066 or whatever that BBC show was called.
Oh.
Did you make it to the end of that?
I did not. I made it. I think I made it 3 episodes and I did it.
So, quick question. Was The Last Kingdom, was that the Viking ripoff?
It's not a Viking ripoff. I mean, they did make it because of the popularity of Vikings, but it's based on honestly an excellent book series, and I would recommend reading that. Fantastic book series. But it's one of those shows that kind of got kicked around from, I think it was BBC America that I first saw it start on, and then it got kicked over to Netflix, and it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But it ended up being a really great series for all of its struggles.
Yeah. And my buddy Jason Flemyng is in the first episode. In fact, he gets his head locked off in pretty much the first scene. So it's a bit of he did it as a favor to a mate, that character. It's like, can we put you in it? Because people think you're going to be a main character and then we're going to kill you. Oh, okay, cool. I'll just come in for one day, get a big paycheck. That sounds good.
There's several actors that are like that. And those are the actors that sold me on the show. And I tune in and they die in the first episode.
Yeah, this isn't a scene from the movie. This is actually Rachel was photographed backstage. They just, the photographer thought they were rehearsing a scene, but that's actually Rachel.
Just before security was called.
Yeah, just before she jumped into that. Yeah. He jumped into that stewy circular disc thing that appears, and then suddenly that music came on. Yeah. Who was that woman you were kissing? I saw you.
All right, Rachel. So of the main cast, Rachel, Mary F. Kill, right? You're gonna come up with that later.
Well, we'll come up with that later.
Yeah.
But you can see, I mean, it's it's worth your time. I mean, I was surprised it wasn't subtitles. And it feels like it's actually been shot in English because it didn't feel like the actors were dubbed. I think a couple of them might have been, but it didn't have that usual weird, everyone's talking slightly out of sync. And I would prefer to see a subtitled film. And I was trying to find the subtitles and there weren't any. And it was like, and I suddenly realized, hang on, everyone is actually, I don't think they're dubbed. They're speaking in English. This is okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's worth seeing. All right. What would you give it out of 10? You've seen the whole thing.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this.
Strong recommendation there, people. I've only seen the first episode. I'd give that a solid 8. It did have me hooked. I just haven't had time to watch the rest of it because I had to see that amazing Spike Lee film. All right, we're gonna move on. Toxic's got a pick for us. Blonde man mounts woman in car.
Well, this is Mischief from 1985. It's basically would have been on, if we had not gone like 4.5 hours on the stream the other night, I would have liked to have gotten this in. I mean, consider this my honorable mention type situation. So I was,
take you 4.5 hours to cover all the films that Luke had not seen.
Pretty much. Well, the thing about it is, Lance, one, mostly it was my fault for bad planning. And then it's like everybody was, right at the last second. Besides your picks, like some, people brought up stuff that I had forgotten where 85, like Reanimator and things like that. Yeah. So I'm not as fluent in movie-ese as you are. So I thought I had a good handle on, what 1985 had to offer. And then I was like way wrong. I really thought Fletch was going to do really well. No one likes Fletch but me. So
I love Fletch.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Dude, what kind of panel did you have?
I mean, a lot of them are on the show right now.
What's wrong with all of you for not liking Fletch?
Let me kick some
I just don't care.
Have a moment.
I picked a load of horror films.
Toxic, talk to us about Mischief.
Yeah, so Mischief is it's a 1985, period piece, coming of age thing, 1950s. And it's, it's not as good as, a Stand By Me or like any Heavenly Angel and things like that. But it is very good. It's very cute as far as that goes. It's got, Jamie Gertz. It's got a bunch of actors that I bet you know who they are, Lance, if you want to pull up
I certainly do. I had a massive crush on Kelly Preston after she did
Kelly Preston aside, but Kelly Preston just in her freaking heyday. This is like right before she did Space Camp. She's fully nude in this film. And she's just another vapid, blonde. But I mean, it's like, when you have a movie where Jamie Gertz is considered the ugly girl in the girl clique, that's when you've got some bangers in here. So I've never heard of these guys that play the two main, but you have this kind of dorky kid, and he's a virgin, and of course he becomes friends with the greaser
Doug
motorcycle.
McKeon.
Yeah, the greaser
Doug
motorcycle.
Good actor, actually.
Yeah. And they form a friendship, and it's all very interesting, what they go through. I mean, some of it's very cheesy. It's not acted particularly well, except in spurts. There's certain instances where it's really, really good. Kelly Preston knocks it out of the park. But Mary Stuart Masterson the other Mary. You remember in the 80s when there was like 3 different Marys with like the same sounding names with like 3, the first, middle, and last. What is it? Not Mary Louise Parker. It's you're gonna make me do this.
Mary Stuart Masterson.
No, the other one.
Just let him
Well,
struggle.
you said there were 3 that sounded similar. That's 2 of them right there.
Well, I mean, you've got the IMDb open. I mean, I don't want to like lose my signal by pulling IMDb open, but anyway, so they're all very compelling, and it's really beautifully shot is one thing. Like, I have this weird affinity for the 1950s. I just think that was like a great time when things were just much simpler. The one income house, and people wore these adorable clothes, and you could be a rebel, but the most rebellious thing you do is get in a fist fight. And it's like, I mean, the amount of crimes that these two commit that would be like violent felonies consider now, where they're getting off, like they get caught in one, and the cops just like, I don't like snitches, so you guys, I'll let you go on a warning. And it's just that whole it's back when the greaser soch thing that you get from The Outsiders was really happening and starting. And yeah, it's just I found it very, I watched it that Sunday in preparation for my stream, that Saturday in preparation for my stream, and I just thought it was like, I want to get it on here, but I was pretty confident no one else had seen it, Kelly Preston being fully nude aside. So, I just really, really like it. I like the 1950s aesthetic is done very, very well. And I figured you'd know about it and probably have some interesting trivia to say something about it.
I saw it. It didn't get cinema release in the UK. I saw that it came out on video. I remember there being a standee for it, and I mean, basically, as soon as I saw the name Catherine Mary Stewart, that was it. I was going to.
There it is. Because there it is, Catherine Mary Stewart. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, who among us didn't fall in love with her when we saw The Last Starfighter for the first time? I mean, even Rachel secretly confided in me that was the case.
Or Night of the Comet. Or Night of the Comet. Her with the Mac 10.
I have the vinyl soundtrack to both of those films. And the vinyl soundtrack to Night of the Comet is actually quite rare. And yeah, I mean, Catherine Mary Stewart, it does have a fairly big presence on Facebook. She is doing conventions along with the blonde lady who was in Chopping Mall and Night of the Comet.
You should interview her. You should interview her.
I've written to both of them already. I wrote to both of them over 2 years ago. To ask them to come on, and sadly, no joy. I always did wonder why.
Lance, it's because Rachel has been sending them texts and bad-mouthing you.
Oh, that was it. I knew something like that.
Double agent.
Yeah.
I did wonder why.
Believe the crap he makes us watch.
But I always wondered why Doug McKeon didn't go on to bigger things, because he is a pretty good actor. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still working today. He's got credits throughout the decades. I think maybe he had a particular sort of nerdy look that worked for casting at this age, but perhaps going forwards wasn't the best look for him. But he was a very talented actor. I really liked him. I mean, Catherine Mary Stewart hasn't done loads. She's done some good things, but she hasn't done loads. I would have expected her career to be at the same level as Kathleen Kennedy. Not Kathleen Kennedy. That's the Star Wars person who ruined it.
Turner.
Who's the Kathleen? Who's the one that was in Kelly McGillis or Kathleen Turner? Yeah, Romancing the Stone Lady or Top Gun Lady. I'd expect her career to be at similar heights to theirs.
Good point.
And I don't know why she didn't go that stratospheric, because she had a huge fan base, and she did well, and she was getting seen for a lot. But you know, you've also got to remember that Hollywood back then, especially, was a really nasty place with a pretty high level of casting couch stuff going on. And one of my favorite films in this genre, and I've talked about it before, is Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey. And it's a pretty similar movie to this. It's, you know, kind of nerd sort of buys the high school prom queen to date him for a month or something, instead of buying a telescope that he'd been saving up for years because she needs money to pay for a jacket of her mum's that she's ruined. And that movie, I think that movie is the best of the bunch. I mean, you could argue Breakfast Club is, but Breakfast Club for me is a coming of age movie, but it doesn't have the romance arc in it. Whereas Can't Buy Me Love and Mischief, and there are various others. There's loads of them. We could do a whole stream about them, and we should actually. You know,
I'd be here for
the
that.
ones with the romance arc are the ones that always appealed to me, because I always saw myself as that guy, and I always, to quote Connery, I always wanted to make sure I went home and fucked the prom queen, and that's exactly what I did. So, haha. Can't Buy Me Love is a brilliant film, and of course the sad story behind that movie is that Amanda Peterson, when she was working in Hollywood, not long after, around the time she did this movie, was raped by a producer on this film. I believe it was a producer on this film, either a producer or an associate producer, and that proper fucked up her head. And she only did a couple of movies after this, and she was also in The Explorers. She was extremely talented. You'd only have to, you know, you can say she was blonde and pretty and whatever, but she had the talent and the looks. And then she got into drugs, and I think I've told you guys this story before, but I tracked her down on Yahoo Chat, and I got hold of her, and I had a conversation with her, you know, quite a long chat with her. And of course I didn't have a YouTube channel then. I wasn't doing interviews. You know, YouTube wasn't a big thing then. It was there, but it wasn't what it is now. And it wasn't that, like, it was about, you know, then I just didn't hear from her for ages. But she was on, you know, do you remember when the Yahoo Chat thing used to come up on your screen with all your contacts on it? It came up like a strip. This is before we all had mobile phones, and you added people on your Yahoo Chat, and whenever you opened your desktop, your Yahoo Chat would open like a phone.
Unfortunately, I never touched a computer till I joined the Army in 2001, buddy. So,
okay, well, I mean, yeah, you had Yahoo Chat, was very popular between sort of 2001 and 2009, I would say.
I would agree with you, but I don't want to date myself.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah,
Yahoo Chat.
She was on that anyway. She was on that, and so, you know, I could always see when she was online. I would say hi, kind of thing, and then she just was not online for a really long time, and the next thing I knew, she'd passed away, and I was really upset. I was like, oh fuck, you know, could tell she was going through a rough time. I read about her arrests and stuff on Google. This is in the really early days when you were asking Jeeves to do searches and things, and I reach out to people. This is just in my nature. I reach out to people. I try and do stuff for people. And, you know, I reached out to her, had a chat, told her I was a filmmaker. I just said, look, I would work with you in a heartbeat if you ever, you know, want to give the acting game another go, but with people that are going to look after you and shit. Anyway, we mainly talked about non-industry stuff, to be fair. It was more about kind of her life and how she was a little bit estranged from her family, and she had a pet snake, and I'd had a pet snake, I think, at some point. And we talked about snakes and just stuff, normal stuff, you know. But yeah, 2015, that's right. Yeah, 2015. I hadn't spoken to her for a number of years, but I think it was around 2010, maybe. I don't know. But yeah. But Mischief out of 10. Sorry, I went down a whole rabbit hole there.
Thanks,
Mischief out of 10.
Just
Off a tangent.
Yeah, for my friends that have just started streaming with Lance, just so you know, he's affectionately referred to as the Angel of Death. If there's something bad that he can bring up, or someone's recently, he's sure to
actually,
like, oh yeah, I saw this movie with he's passed away, unfortunately. Is like
and any excuse I can honor Amanda Peterson and make people remember her career and check her films out, I will do it because I want people to
hiding all the razor blades.
Is he like Phoebe
No,
Cates
man,
in Gremlins?
Her films are worth seeing. Mischief. What So, what's your rating out of 10 for this one? I bet this is your favorite scene right here.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just wish you would face them the other way, really, if I could, and then the co-pilot could be holding the handlebars. That's the real way to do it if you got a cute guy. Just for the nostalgic factor and for the aesthetics and for a fully nude Kelly Preston, R.I.P. Kelly Preston as well. I got to give it a solid 8. I mean, it has a lot of problems, but it's just one of those things you can put on. You'll just enjoy it. I mean, it looks like a slice of the 50s, man. I mean, more than a lot of other films that
even Lassie's in it from the 50s. Look,
yeah,
pretty sure that's the actual one.
It's funny that you show that little clip there with Lassie, because it's what's happening in the scene that we can't see with Lassie is pretty hilarious. So
okay. I feel I need to rewatch this because I just know that I did watch it, but I can't remember that much about it.
Yeah. No, I definitely recommend this to anybody who wants to get a little slice of nostalgia there with these and these guys that you probably not. I mean, sure, we know Catherine Mary Stewart and Kelly Preston, but you may not know the two lead actors. I didn't know who they were, and pretty interesting to watch them. In this.
Well, funnily enough, I have just tracked down Doug McKeon, and I'm going to write to him, and I'll see if I can get him to come on.
Yeah. All
right. So if I do, Tox, you can co-host that with me.
Hell yeah! I want to know what it was like to be on the set with Kelly Preston fully naked. I want to know things.
Let me rethink that idea for a second.
Listen, I'm not going to ask to smell his finger or anything like that. I just want to know. I just want to ask him some important questions.
Okay, you can moderate and be in the chat.
All right. I always get myself. Anytime Lance talks about meeting somebody famous, he's always like, "Yeah, Talks. You can't be around this one. I'm not going to let you near him."
I enjoyed the stream, but Talks' mic was muted the entire time.
It's crazy.
Crazy. I don't know what happened. It's one of those things. This guy, I mean, Doug McKeon, he's worked in the industry. He's worked in the industry 50 plus years now. So, and he's got a whole website and stuff like that. And I think one of his mentors was actor Burt Young from the Rocky movies.
Yeah, Paulie.
He was cast as Burt and Talia Shire's son in the CBS TV movie Daddy, I Don't Like It Like This. That sounds, I don't know what that was about.
Nuh-uh.
Ooh, interesting.
Are you making that up? Dude, are you making that up? Oh,
I am not making that up. That is the title. So let me. Is that what that was about? I mean, I feel like I need to look up this movie on IMDb, but I mean, it's nice that he's done a whole dedication to Burt Young, and and he's done this whole chat about him. There they are, presumably on set of that movie, and he's honoring him as a mentor, basically. Look at that! You got Ronnie Cox, Burt Young, Mr. Miyagi on the golf course together, along with
something.
That's Hurd, isn't it? John Hurd. He died of a heart attack quite young, sadly. Toxic would be disappointed with me if I didn't mention that all four of them are part. No, Ronnie Cox is still around, I think.
Yeah, probably not for long now, thanks to you.
I think age would be the main factor there. Yeah, but Okay, I'm going to see if I can get him on. I think he'd be a fantastic guest. So good pick. Yeah. What was your rating out of 10 for Mischief then?
I give it an 8 out of 10 for the aesthetic and for a fully nude Kelly Preston, R.I.P. Kelly Preston.
Oh, she passed away. Toxic. You're so, don't bring it down, man. Come on. Okay.
Okay. I see what you did there. That's clever.
I didn't mention that. I deliberately didn't mention that, actually.
Good job, Lance.
You were enjoying talking about her so much. I didn't want to piss on that.
So fucking beautiful. God, she was beautiful.
So I quite enjoy the John Grisham adaptations. My favorite is probably The Runaway Jury, which is also the last performance of my favorite actor of all time, Gene Hackman, which I'm currently working on a biography book about him. That won't be out for some time, though. It might not even be out until 2027. And The Rainmaker was not a bad film with Matt Damon. I think came out in the early 2000s. I believe I saw it at the cinema. That whole period is quite vague.
1997. 97.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember that period. There you go. Yeah, I was saying it was the early 2000s. It was even earlier. So, but there's now a new TV series. And I was watching. I thought, I quite liked that adaptation. I'm keen to see what they've done with this. And I would say 50% of the plot is about the same, and then they've changed some really good key elements. So you're not just seeing another version of the book stretched out into 10 episodes. It does have some very key factors are different, have been changed. They've changed the gender of some of the characters. I think Danny DeVito played the character that Lana Perella's playing. Who's a kind of ambulance chasing lawyer. But she's great. I like her. She's playing Bruiser. It's a good show. It's got really good cast. I'm a really big fan of John Slattery, who's the guy on screen now, who's a powerhouse character actor. One of those guys with amazing presence. My friend Karen Bryson is in this. She plays the mother of. She's the main plaintiff, basically, and it's her son who died. And they've changed that storyline a bit. So, but if you liked the book, if you liked the other film version, I think you will like this. And I think it's good that it's different. I think it's good that they've made significant changes so that you're not just rewatching another version of the same story that's stretched out with unnecessary subplots. It is a slightly different story, but basically the same characters, the same kind of narrative. You know what you're getting, but it's going to have some surprises. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. There are 4 episodes out. I binged them all today when I was working on a budget, so I had it on in the background, and it did. I was quite engrossed in it. Was Mickey Rourke Bruiser in the film? Was he really?
Yeah,
I don't remember him being the lawyer. I thought it was Danny DeVito because I remember the scene in the hospital with DeVito. Surely, or was DeVito? Maybe was DeVito also in the film?
Plays Deck. Yeah, he's also in it, but he plays Deck. His more of his sidekick. Bruiser's his boss.
Assistant. Right, Bruiser's his boss. Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. As I said, it's from a period in my life that I can't remember much, so it's all a bit mashed up. But yeah, a good show. Has anyone else seen it? Okay, well, that's a recommendation from me. So do check it out. Al, have you got a recommendation this week?
Yeah, I do. It's actually a YouTube show that I've got into recently.
Yeah,
and it's called Hot Ones.
Sounds like something Toxic would like.
It's got nothing to do with naked ladies, unfortunately. What it is about is getting a load of celebrities, so actors and stuff, in to eat hot wings of increasingly severe Scoville temperature. And what I like about it is ask really intelligent questions. Like the actors are going, "Oh my God, that's my first film you've just talked about." Nobody ever just normally asks me stupid questions. but they're actually really insightful interviews while watching celebrities kill themselves with casaspin. Is it casaspin? The stuff in pepper?
Capsaicin.
That's the
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a good interview with an actor you like, but you're also kind of, how soon are they going to dash to the toilet? It's kind of that sort of thing.
There's one called The Bomb, and that's the one that tends to kill people. Yeah.
Right.
People just yeah. But it's really interesting because, as I said, the interviews are of another level. And, you know, the craziest one that I saw was Bill Murray, who did the entire lot, eating the chicken wings down to the bone without breaking a sweat. Blinking.
Is the channel called Hot Wings? Sorry, is it Hot Wings? Is that the channel?
Hot Ones. I think the show's called
Hot Ones.
Hot Ones, yeah.
Hot Ones.
Oh, Hot Ones. Okay, Hot Ones.
There's loads and loads and loads of different celebrities. I've got loads of them queued up to watch. First We Feast is the name of the channel.
Right. Let me.
Idris Elba's was really good.
I don't think I've seen Elba's yet. I don't think so.
Oh, he was struggling. He started struggling about midway.
So clearly, I'm doing something wrong. The way to get actors on your channel is to present them with free hot wings and do a really good interview. So I missed out on the hot wings.
Well, it's 10 hot wings. So there's 10 hot sauces in total. And that's the gauntlet they have to try and get through.
This is the Bill Murray one.
He's like, literally
got 15 million subscribers. People love watching people eat hot wings.
Yep. It's really good. It's a really good show. I was amazed.
And they're actually talking to him about his career. Oh, there you go. You've got big jugs of water. Look at that. There's the is that an extra spicy sauce on top of the spiciness that there's
a row of 10 sauces in front of them, which is all the sauces they have to do. And the hottest one, I think, is number 6.
Right.
But you know, like the most immediate hot one is that one. You see that one, that short one in the middle with the nuclear sign on it?
Yeah,
that's the bomb. That's the one that kills everybody who tries it.
Yep.
What do you mean?
But he's a really entertaining, engaging host and interviewer.
When you say kills, I mean, do you mean literally kills? Have people died from eating that, or what's the story there?
What's his name? Pete Davidson. They had to stop from eating anymore because he had Crohn's disease.
Oh, Jesus!
Seriously screwed him up. But yeah,
I love this one. Sicilian scorpion. Sicilian scorpion hot sauce. I mean that, you know, if that isn't enough to
816,000 Scoville sounds like a lot.
Suddenly Bill Murray's had a love child halfway through.
That's Pete Davidson. They got him back in.
Oh, they just recently did a film together, right? That weird
that's right. This is
comedy.
It's always in support of a film or something like that. It's part of the it's called the junket trail. Yeah, like the agent arranges for them to go on it, kind of thing. But there's some
who was his the very first guest that he got? The very first episode. Who was the first guest?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you. It's been going on for so long.
How long has he been doing the show?
7 odd years.
Oh Jesus!
I can tell you what he's thinking in this clip. He's thinking, Jesus Christ, I still don't have an Oscar, and I don't think I'm taking part in it. It's going to make that happen for me. It feels further away than ever now. And the other guy's thinking, dude, you're not fucking wrong, man. That's
yeah. I mean, some of them can't handle their hot sauce at all. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are complete wussies on it.
Yeah.
But some of them just take it like an absolute champ. Josh Brolin
he's got to look after his singing voice. The Proctor file says, I once tried a 9 million Scoville hot sauce called Plutonium 9. Felt like I was being stabbed in the guy, I think the iron maybe, with a soldering iron. Haven't really been able to do any hot sauces since.
Why would you do that to yourself?
There's a second part to that message which I had to delete, but the words anus and shredded were in the sentence. Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean, I personally don't think that food should hurt. That's not why I eat it. But these are very, very entertaining shows. I fully recommend it. Really interesting questions to get asked. He really gets the most out of his actors. You know, you can see them let their guard down. Like he did a Peter Dinklage one, and just asked him a random question about like his youth, and you could just see people. I think it was just all the guards, all the professional sort of,
veneer, yeah,
PR veneer, yeah, just all dropped,
Yeah.
and it was just two humans speaking to each other. They're
I'm
really
curious
good.
to see that actually.
Yeah, they're
Curious
really
to
good.
see that.
Loads of different
I'm gonna
celebrities. I've
recommend-
not watched anywhere near all of them, but I've got loads queued up to watch, and I just have them in the background while I'm editing.
Oh,
I'm
poor
going to
Jennifer
recommend
Lawrence,
a YouTube
man.
channel.
Yeah, Jennifer
I'm
Lawrence.
gonna
I think that was my favorite little clip that was used out of context all over the internet. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She was not happy at all.
Okay, well, that's a recommendation from Al. I am going to check that out. I'm going to recommend you another YouTube channel. This is Just Falling About with Michael Bean. He started this, I think, about a year ago, 2024. He's doing rather nicely on 18,500 subscribers. And of course, with his connections, he's able to bring in numerous people that he's worked with or who are connected to his films. Co-hosting it with him is one of his sons, I think from his first marriage. And it really, Michael's been through some stuff. He's had periods where he was heavily drinking. He wasn't the best version of himself. He's made a lot of mistakes, and he really does bare his soul, as do subsequently the guests that come on. So obviously he talks about Bill Paxton a great deal. The Navy SEALs episode is really good. There's a guy who produces the show with him who's I think he's an ex executive from one of the big Hollywood agencies. I forget which one, but he's worked in the business for a long time. So you've got a pretty cool team around him. And then, both Drake and Vasquez from Aliens, Jeanette Goldstein and Mark Rolston have both been on this show. And Jeanette Goldstein doesn't like doing interviews. She's retired from acting now. Trust me, I've tried to get her on. So her coming on here is a bit of a rare one.
Did you interview Mark Rolston, or am I thinking
He
of somebody
did,
else?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
he did. He did interview Mark Rolston. It's interesting because when Drinker interviewed him, Mark Rolston was pretty mean about Tim Robbins, but here he's not. So I wonder if he got a little bit told off about that. Rick Rasosovich from Terminator and, of course, Top Gun, which was a much bigger movie for him, is on this with two parts. Really interesting interview. And again, he's kind of retired from the industry now, and you kind of hear the various things he went through. But it's really it's a really good channel, and I have these on in the background when I'm working. Sometimes I get so engrossed in them I have to turn them off. And it's funny because the thing that really made me smile when I was listening to this was Michael Byrne went, "Yeah, man, I've got to get Gail Ann Hurd on here. I don't know if I can do that." I was like, dude, I got there first. First YouTuber. No one will ever be able to take that.
You need to use that to get Michael Bean on your show.
Funnily enough,
It's got to work.
under that stream, I made a comment and said, "If you want to see my interview with her, here it is." Sent him the link. Let's see if that gets him on. I'm not sure it will, but we'll see. But I'm recommending his channel. I really like it. I think it's
Cool.
It's good. So Toxic's got to go, or he has gone already.
Yeah,
He's gone
been
already.
a
He
while.
left. He's been
Noise
gone for a
coming
while.
apparently.
He got called
Actually, what
into
we're
a
talking
conference.
about, just 2 secs.
So he got called into a conference. Al's got to go and check on his spider feeds. So yeah, but I recommend that channel. I mean, I don't really know what to give it in terms of a rating, but I recommend that. I've got one other thing to mention I've seen.
Excellent.
Al, what have you got there? Did you need to
I
get
dug
something?
this out today.
Oh, look at that!
It's been in the cupboard for ages. I'm going to
I
repaint
so
it.
want that's
like a
the
movie
Nerf
prop.
one. Yeah, I
Yep.
so want one. I'm surprised you've
I'm
not
going
got
to
it
sand it
repainted.
down, repaint it, spray it,
Yeah.
and then I'll have a movie-ish accurate.
Does it
Pulse
go pew 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 pew? Or has it got like
It does. There's no
sound?
batteries in it at the moment though, because I don't like leaving batteries in things
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
when I store them, because they can leak and it can go
Oh,
horribly,
batteries!
horribly wrong.
That's so early 2000s. You would have thought they would have
I
had a
know,
charger
right?
in the back of your your
Yeah,
computer.
it's probably
But,
going to take me a couple of months in total. But I'm going to sand this down, and when it's finished, I'll bring it on the stream and show you guys.
by the way, to get hold of one of those now, they're so expensive.
Oh yeah, I saw on eBay. So I was like,
Yeah.
do I sell it or do I like make the movie
No,
prop
keep
that I've always wanted? And I'm going for the second one.
Can you legally have that in the UK now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, hopefully. You can, you just can't say Muppet, unfortunately.
So this is a show that I quite enjoyed. I've only seen the pilot from the creator of Mayor of Easttown, of course, which a lot of us are big fans on this channel. Really do like that show.
Excellent show.
And this is an interesting premise. It's got a bit of a Heat vibe. You're kind of following two characters. One of them's a family man, and he's also a robber. And he basically targets. He works as with his crew. They work as dustbin men, or I think you call them something else in America. You know, the people that take out the trash. And they learn by checking out people's trash from suspect addresses which ones are drug stash houses or drug factories, and then they target those addresses and rob them. And then you've got the FBI guy who's played by Mark Ruffalo, who's an actor I very much enjoy watching, and he's kind of assigned a little FBI task force in this sort of relatively I think it's like set in Idaho or somewhere like that, to track these guys down. Only the first episode is available. I don't understand why it's got a 5.8 rating, because I think as a pilot, it's pretty good. I mean, maybe some people have seen the whole thing. I think it's 8 episodes. But yeah, I liked it. It's got, like I said, it's got that kind of Heat vibe because you're following both the good guy and the bad guy. And they've made the main bad guy quite a sympathetic character. You know, he's a good dad. He looks after his kids. He's mainly stealing to kind of support his family. I'm not endorsing this as a way of life, of course. But they do successfully kind of give you that narrative and create a sympathetic arc for him. You know, you don't hate the guy, a bit like De Niro in Heat. You kind of in the gun battle, you know, who you're rooting for here. So I'm interested to see where it goes. But yeah, give it a solid 7. It's not as good as the pilot for The Shield, but it's certainly worth checking out. Has anyone else got any recommendations? We're almost out of time.
I've got one.
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
The Sorcerer, 1977. The one with William Friedkin.
I have
yet
yet
to
to see
Exorcist.
that, and I really want to.
You've
got
got
transporting explosives, right?
Funnily enough,
yes.
I think the Inside Man brought this up about 2 years ago, but it's been a while ago. So if it was last week, I'd say too late, buddy. Someone's done that already. Oh, I'm pleased to see that the IMDb rating for Task has shot up to 7.7. It was only 5 yesterday. There you go. So some sensible people have seen it now. Yeah, Sorcerer. Sorry, this is the one with the bus and the explosives in the jungle and.
Right.
I mean, after a nightmare to shoot, right?
It was filmed on location, I believe, in the rainforest there in
Roy
Brazil.
Scheider was in this one.
Yes.
Yeah,
the Jaws connection. Yes, he's the main. And like you said, it's just oil company hires a bunch of misfits and criminals to drive. I think it's 2 separate, because I'm about to watch it again. I believe it's 4 buses, and there's all of them are going separately. They're just trying to get at least one to the oil site to deliver dynamite. And after watching it the first time, I've never been so exhausted watching it film. I mean, it's just physically draining. The actors are on location. That's real water running below them. That's not a soundstage. In real rain in a lot of these circumstances, it's a good movie to watch. I don't know why it did so poorly when it initially released, but it's one of my favorites, and I just found my DVD copy.
Right.
So I plan on watching that one soon. And I've got one more if I could just throw it out there real quick.
Yeah,
just
sure.
Sort of a hidden gem I found. I don't know if everybody's seen the it's only had three seasons, but it's called Loudermilk with this name Roy Livingston as the main character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
the
I've
guy
come
from
across.
the Office Space.
Right, Office Space,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe he's on Band of Brothers.
Yeah, he was the second in command on Band of Brothers. Ron Livingston, you're talking about.
Yeah. I just came across that past year or so, and
I've seen it. I've seen all 3 seasons of this.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's kind of a time travel, so we're of an age. So, not to mention, he was a former Rolling Stones. That kind of a background. Was a Rolling Stone writer, and then became an alcoholic. He got into an accident, and his wife got injured, and now he's leading an AA group, and it just what goes along with it. But it's quite
well written, to be honest.
What's that?
Yeah.
I thought it was quite well written.
Yeah, because it is very much a talking heads half-hour drama. The first season, especially, is almost entirely set in support group meetings, and the various characters that he comes across, and people sort of, attempting to cross boundaries, and him keeping boundaries in place, and as the main counselor. And then as the seasons go on, the show kind of expands the narrative a bit more. I really liked it. I can't remember how it finished on season 3, but I do know I watched all of it. In fact, I watched all of it. I think this was a show that I discovered in lockdown and binged in lockdown, when you were looking for stuff you hadn't seen. I think it might have been one of them, but I seem to recall I watched all 3 seasons in like 3 weeks. So, good show. This actress was pretty good.
It's pretty big, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those. It's a great show. If you're looking for a new show, a good half-hour show that you can watch kind of before you go to bed. Like, some people like watching things like The Simpsons and stuff like that. Tonally, it's not too heavy. It's quite funny. I mean, it's black humor very much so, but that this definitely fits into a good show to sort of stick on half hour before you go to bed. You might end up watching 3 or 4 of them, but this actress was really good. I really rated her.
Yeah, she's great. It's one of those shows that makes you think but makes you laugh at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. She was Angie Savick or Anja Savick. I don't know if I'm saying that name correctly, and apologies if I'm probably mispronouncing her surname. I'm curious to see what else she's done since this. I have not seen Ricky Stenicki, although that's an entertaining title. Tracker, I've not seen, but I've heard of. She's done an episode of Creep Show, Nancy Drew, Be Still.
Big Sky.
Yeah. So, 25 episodes of Big Sky. Okay. Yeah. So and I have seen this as well. I've seen the first few episodes of this. Because this is sort of new cop, isn't it, in Canada or somewhere like that, or somewhere out in the sticks.
Yeah, I think it's in the either Northwest or
Montana.
Yeah, I think
like
it is in Montana. Big Sky country makes sense.
Yeah, I feel there's not enough cowboy hats on that poster. They haven't gone full Kevin Costner. Oh, they have got a Kevin Costner jacket though. There you go.
Well, he's not going to put a hat on that hair. I mean, come on, Jensen Ackles is not covering his hair.
I was just say it's Jensen Ackles, man.
Yeah.
I can already hear the Rachel bean tingling. So that's okay. Don't put a cowboy hat on that man. Not what Rachel's about.
9 out of 10 just because it's got Jensen Ackles in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
F. Mary K.
But look, it's also got Lyle Lovett in there, and don't forget he dated Julia Roberts once. So
I thought they were married.
I think they were married.
They were married.
Pretty sure that they're not still married, but
no.
Well, like they say,
not many people in Hollywood tend to stay married, unfortunately.
Indeed, our industry, I'm afraid, does have a very high divorce rate, and I am living proof of that. Rachel, your artwork can be found, among other places that it can be found. It can also be found in my new book. Rachel's artwork is in my new book, Back to Raving at 50, which is out on Amazon on Friday. And you can get a hardback or a softback. Enzo, who's normally on the stream with us, did this cover
He
for
was
me.
driving. That's why he said he didn't join us.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't driving when he designed this, which I'm pleased to know.
Well,
But,
Hopefully serious talent if he was.
Deland Daya, who did the forward for me, I wanted to give her a present, so and also kind of give Rachel a present. So it was a 2-for-1. I paid Rachel a little handout to do me a pencil drawing of a Deland Daya, and then actually for her as a present, as a thank you for doing the forward. And I didn't think about putting it in the book, but then I thought actually this drawing needs to go in the book. So it's so good, so it's gone in the book, credited to you, Rachel. So it's at the front with her forward. So before we even see a picture of her, which is kind of cool.
I will say this, Lance. You have inspired me to go back to a rave, despite having survived Woodstock '99.
Oh, dude,
Man,
yeah,
that must have been such an experience. Like I said,
oh,
Woodstock '99, man, that documentary was mental.
I saw the documentary. I mean, I've got a stream on Friday, and I'm inviting people who've gone back to raving recently to come on and sort of talk about what it means to them, more that than the disaster stories of the past. Because this book is all about why people go dancing now, and that is a picture of a rave in London with me at the front. And that, by the way, there are 4 balconies above that photograph, and they were all packed with people. There were about 2,500 people there. That's Coco in Camden, formerly Camden Palace.
Oh man, I love the Coco. I've seen so many good gigs there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody calls it the Palace. You know, if you went there back in the day, which I did twice, once in '92 and I think once in the early 2000s. We all called it the Palace.
So you're going during the day, right? This is day raving.
That is a day rave. That photograph, I can even tell you what time that was taken. That photograph was taken just before a Deland Daya's set. So that would have been about 4:30 roughly, give or take, in the afternoon. She came on about half an hour after that, because my friends that are slightly further back came down to the front when she came on. So this was taken before that. So it's quite funny though, you know, that somebody had to spoil it, didn't they? Somebody had to be on their phone at the front.
Yeah. And it's probably the youngest person there as well. Look,
I mean, also, if you look to their credit, most people here are not even. There's a couple of people filming. There's a couple of people taking some pictures, but most people are just proper into the music and having a good time. And I mean, that really is what it's about. And you know,
as
most
I say,
of
your
us
mate is well away.
He is well away. I mean, most of us that go to these things, we are, you know, 40 and above, and we're of that generation, and that's what the book's about. And it's really a kind of, it's a bit of a you know, there's a lot of characters in there. I've made a lot of friends on this scene. I mean, probably, I don't know, over 50 that I know well, and at least another 100 that I know by name. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of people to meet in your 50s, late in life, where friends are typically dropping off and disappearing and moving away, and you know, getting jobs in foreign countries. I wasn't going to say that, but Toxic's not here, you know. So, yeah, I mean, they are, unfortunately, and you know, I never thought. There's that line, isn't there, at the end of that fantastic movie that's based on a book by Stephen King, you know, The Four Kids. What is it? Stand By Me. And there's that great line at the end of that film, which goes, "I never had friends later in life like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus does anyone." And I remember that line really impacted me, because I thought about the times when me and my friends went on adventures and stuff, and we didn't necessarily go and look for dead bodies, but we did go on long walks to places we weren't supposed to go and build camps and this kind of thing. And you think back to those times and you think, yeah, they were really special and kind of unique, and it was innocent, and, you know, we hadn't learned about the evils of the world yet. But I have to say that most of those friends, and they're still around, but they're not in my life now, and they could be, but they're not. Whereas I've made friendships now in the last 2-3 years that mean, some of them mean more to me than people I've known for 25 years. And
I find that when you make friends later in life, they can mean more because you're a fully developed human being. So your personality is kind of almost set. And
I think
when you make a friend, it's for the reasons that you genuinely get on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. But I think, I mean, I'll talk about this more on Friday because I'm doing a 6-hour stream. But I think the big thing for me is later in life, particularly when you're living in a big city, and, you know, the friends from school, most of them have moved away and things like that. You don't have those same circles. And particularly if you work in an industry that's quite fluid. So if you work in the film industry or theatre, or, you know, people are coming in and out of your life all the time, maintaining close, meaningful, long-term friendships is actually quite difficult. I'm quite lucky in that respect with people like Jason Flemyng and whatnot, but there's not loads of them. So, you know, I never thought I'd suddenly have I've met a lot of people that I'm doing things with outside of this scene. I'm having dinners with them. We're going to the coast and, you know, doing day trips to towns together and stuff like that. You know, I've had dinner parties with people around here. Suddenly I've got this big social life again. It's not just the dancing, although that's where it all, that's the nucleus. So I know Mr. E has to go.
I almost want to give you a counterpoint really quick. I know you want to wrap it up, but I think also like for me, living out in suburbia, I guess, you know, the sticks, whatever, the circle of friends I have are all coworkers, but now that everyone's married with children, it becomes even more difficult versus maybe being married and living in a city versus, you know, to find the time to do dinner or have their kids come over and swim in our pool or go meet at a restaurant. It becomes so difficult and you do lose touch. Like, yeah, you got Facebook and maybe an occasional text, but I got really close friends that I knew really well and hung out a lot 5-6 years ago. That's not happening anymore because we're married and everyone's working and moves to Texas or, you know, divorced and they moved away. And I think being in a big city, having the commonality of the same industry, you now have this huge circle of friends doing stuff versus all the married folks that are, I would say, like losing touch because other things take up priority. And it's hard to get together to like, hey, let's, you know, when you were younger, let's go bike ride in the park. Let's go to the arcade. Now I can't call my 2 married friends. Let's go see a movie. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. I like your little snake friend. What's his name?
This is Kira.
Aw.
She's kind of behaving at the moment, mostly.
Not biting your nose off.
Oh,
no, she's chilled. She was a little bit more of a problem when I first got her, but they get used to you fairly quickly. She's a beautiful.
But I do want to say, Lance, I think it's really impressive how being with apologies, being older, that you now have this huge circle of people and how your all your contacts to all these different folks, all within the industry, the books, the interviews, and it's just really impressive that you can maintain and still make new friends later in life.
I think
you're 85. I'm just saying, you know, like being older.
No. I mean, the thing that's connecting a lot of us is that we've all been through shit. I think that's one of the things that I've realised about a lot of people on that scene. I mean, for me, one of the things I found really difficult, especially in the last 10 years, was my sudden loss of all my family. You know, my family all died within a very short period of time. Over 2 years, they were all gone. And I don't have any children. So there was that. And, you know, and then I thought when I got with my ex-partner, I thought that was going to be forever. And the thing that really I was so happy about, apart from obviously I was in love and, you know, with someone I cared about and who cared about me and all the rest of it, is that, you know, you had family again, you had a center and everything. But when that was removed from my life, it was like my heart got plucked out and I was so empty and lost. And I think also, you know, when you're married and you've got kids, you tend to hang out with other people that are married and have got kids and babysit each other's kids and that kind of thing. I never quite got in that groove because I didn't have the kids. And then, you know, suddenly you're single at an age where most of your friends are not. And then what I've found with this scene is that there's a lot of people in it that have gone through an experience, not necessarily identical to mine, but mirroring my own. You know, and unfortunately, you know, a lot of them have been through some pretty horrendous traumas and things. Other people have lost jobs. Depression is a very common element, you know, and you know, everybody kind of looked back to something that they enjoyed and they wanted to do again. And I think the pandemic had a massive thing to do with it as well. And no doubt we'll talk about this on Friday. And suddenly there were all these Facebook groups for people that wanted to go raving again. I must be a member of about 7 different groups. And you know, we started meeting up in these different events in London, and you know, pretty soon familiar faces would be at 5 or 6 events that you've been to within a couple of months, and you'd all meet in the pub first, and you know, next thing you knew, it was like I had people at my movie quiz, which, as you guys will know, I run every year. So yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's changed my whole life. I really had got to a point in life where YouTube was the only thing that was keeping me hanging on. It was that was my, I wouldn't call it my happy place, but it was the thing that was keeping me going. It was giving me dates in diaries, you know, which was really important. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't going out. I wasn't socializing.
Would you go as far as to say it's giving you a second lease, as it were, on life?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
The next hurdle.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt about that whatsoever. I did promise people, actually, I was about to go, but I did promise people I would show you guys some stills from All in Good Time, which is the film I did for Drinker. But actually, first of all, oh yeah, I'll show you this one. This is quite funny. This is not that film I did for Drinker. This is me at clubbing. This is literally 2 weeks ago. So I'm on the left here, and my friend Connie in the middle, who has been going clubbing with me. So, and then all 3 of these guys in the background and the guy with the ginger hair are all DJs. We got to this event really early, when all the DJs were sort of turning up to find out who was playing when. So we went round and got photographs with them all. And of course, all the DJs that are on this day rave scene are all of a similar age to us. They're all people that used to DJ in the 90s.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, they've also got a second lease of life because they're also getting gigs. And I mean, there's 4 day rave events in London every weekend, at least 4.
Bloody hell.
You know, and now there's a big fight already over weekends, the key weekends for 2026. They're already announcing all the events for 2026.
When the competition starts,
it's going to carry on as long as people keep going. You know. Again, I'm doing a big stream about that on Friday, launching the book on Friday on the channel, 6 till midnight UK time. So we will be, well, we would have just wrapped up wherever you are now. But who knows, I might go over. But I am going raving on Saturday, and I've got a book launch at an event on Saturday.
Oof.
So can't stay online.
At the same time?
No.
I've got to say, I'm disappointed you're not DJing and just chucking books out to the baying crowd. You know,
yeah,
coming as somebody who used to DJ himself, you know, you're missing opportunity.
I'm afraid people need to pay for the book. So this is on the set. This is on the set of Mauler's film. So this got a great comment on Twitter. Somebody said, "There's 4 great faces for radio right there," which I thought.
Oh, mean.
And so that's Steve, who's in the white on the left. Now, he was a runner on the production, and I met him on the day rave scene, and I said, "Mate, I need 2 drivers, you know, for a couple of days, and I need someone to drive me on a recce to this location." So he came on board. Nice little job for him. Jason Flemyng had one of the lead acting roles, so this is him, I think, at the end of day 1. This is me, end of day 1. Can tell from the bags under my eyes, and everybody thought on the end this was Mauler, but it's not. This is Alex Tabrizi, who's head of DTI and post production. So he ran a whole team on post production. It's the 5th or 6th time me and Alex have worked together. I think it's the 7th or 8th time Jason and I have worked together. And this is
I almost didn't recognise Jason Flemyng. Actually, how old is he now?
Well, he's a few years older than me. He's about 59 now. So here are my 2 leads in the movie. Awesome. So this is Jason Flemyng and Nicholas Rowe in a scene. So this is a still from the film.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to say too. I can't give any plot details away,
No,
but we have been
I'm guessing
given permission
interrogation
to
vibe, though.
post. So sorry, what's that?
I'm guessing an interrogation vibe.
Well, I'm not going to give anything away. You'll have to.
Way to fish for it there, Critical.
I did my best, guys. What can I say?
Some sort of spy meeting.
That might be a giant spider leg behind Jason coming down behind him. I mean, who knows? So
spiders make everything better.
Well, indeed, according to you, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Rachel. This is us on set, so we're just going. I think we were just going through some dialogue together. In the background, there is Grant Hager, another actor who's also in the movie, and then on the left is Arini, the first AD. I think this is on day 2. This probably was. So yeah, I mean, this was a very short shoot, but it was a great shoot. You know, I had a really great team. You know, I think there were 24 crew. Everybody was at the top of their game. My health wasn't too brilliant when we were shooting this, but I managed to sort of stagger through. But I probably couldn't have gone much longer because I was still getting over. Remember, I had that horrible chest infection that went on for ages, and I was still dealing with that at the time. So James Evans, who's in the chat, is a backer of this production, and he can't wait to see it. Yeah, it was crowdfunded very successfully, not by me. I don't have that kind of size fan base, but I'm absolutely honoured to sort of, you know, obviously take a very key role in terms of spearheading the project. And as you know, if you're directing something, it's an absolute unwritten law that you must get a picture of you on set pointing.
Well, of course.
I just said to the still photographer, if you ever see me pointing, just take a photo because I've got to have a picture of me pointing. And actually, this is me and Richard Oates, the DOP, and we actually had to put this light quite high up, and I was a bit concerned, but we disguised the light to kind of make it look like part of the place, so it sort of looks like a natural lighting fixture. And that's the huge behemoth of Grant Hager in the foreground with his big tree trunk arms. But
is there much of a production, or is it post production, or is it just editing more or less and just doing the sound and stuff?
No, it's completely finished. Completely finished. Yeah, no, everything's done. Visual effects, the lot, or completed post today. So, and this is me at the second location with the man himself. As you can see, I've got an Outcast Creative hoodie on, the only one I've got left now, because one got stolen. So collectible. If you see someone wearing a black Outcast Creative hoodie, beat them up immediately, take it from them, and return it to me, please. Thank you. Yeah, we had a good time on this shoot, and it was great having Wil there as well. Had a really good time. And
the drinker is a lot more hench than he looks in his streams. Bloody hell!
No, he's
really.
I mean, listen, I'm not a short guy. I was 6 foot when I got married. I'm 5'11" and a half now. So make of that what you will. But yeah, I mean, he's a good 6'3". So he's taller than me. Yeah, and then Mauler is taller than both of us. So Mauler is absolutely ginormous.
It's the land of giants over there. God.
Yeah.
Make them big in Wales, they do.
But it was really great because it was a job that I really wanted to get right, and I hadn't directed on film in a long time. And you know, as with everything, you take a risk with people when you haven't worked with them before. And I was so grateful. You know, I got a phone call one day, and I was about to do this other job, and I literally said out that, and it was a job that didn't really pay any money, but was going to be very stressful and take up a lot of time. And like I said, my health was so, and I was trying to sort of spend my time doing things that I enjoyed, that I knew I was going to have fun. That was very key for me, very important. And I'd honestly, 20 minutes earlier, I had said out loud, I shit you not, this is a completely true story. God, please give me a sign that I'm not supposed to do this project. And then I sort of carried on working for a bit. And about 20 minutes later, my phone rang. And it was Wil on the other end of the phone. And he's like, Lance, got something, I've got a proposition to run by you. And, we're making these short films and blah, 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 blah. And we're doing this one, this one, this one. And, me and Mauler were talking and we quite like you to direct his one. And I just went, yes, I'll do it. I knew that meant I couldn't do the other project. And it was, it was like I asked for a sign and the sign came, and that was it. It was no question. And I had to make the decision about doing the other project that day. So the next, literally as soon as I got off that phone call, I got straight on my email and said, I'm very sorry, but I can't direct this show. I've got a conflict, and it did conflict. It conflicted really badly. Even though the shooting dates were slightly later. And then the funny thing was the shooting dates got brought forward. So, by the way, this is funny, this photograph, because this is the Ronin camera. So this is the lightest one. So you can pick it up and carry it about and chuck it out of windows and things. The other two cameras that we had, and we had 3 cameras plus 2 drones, were absolutely massive. And I've got this still of me looking in front of the weeniest one that we've got. But we were shooting on 6K, I think. And we've got a 4K version of the film already. The film looks amazing. It looks great, really, really does look great. And this is basically us lot reviewing a take. We had this wonderful script supervisor who's the girl to my left, who was also doing continuity. She was a really young kid, but she was fantastic, man. She was amazing. Really, really good. I can't recommend her highly enough. Dead Gamers 13 says, don't say that. Mauler is a dwarf. It's Peter Dinklage, people. Mauler is his secret alter ego.
It's all a ruse. He's the short man.
Look, if he is short, then he basically has sculpted a really believable life-sized man, and he's, hollowed out the insides and is a little man controlling a big giant.
There are no limits to an eldritch god's powers. You should know that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to do another one. Next year maybe, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a feature film down the line. But what's great about, some people are going to like the film, some people aren't. People are going to hate on it, because it's drinker and whatnot. And
yeah, I was going to say, some people are just going to hate on it regardless.
It's got a good script. It's technically, there's very little about it technically that you could say, oh, you should have done this or you should have done that. I'm very happy with it technically. I'm very happy with extremely happy with the performances. I cast 2 actors at the top of their game.
Sounds kind of interrogation-y.
Yeah. Oh, so we're gonna wrap up the vote soon, and it's a toss up between Fargo at 30% and No Country for Old Men. So here's a question from my panelists, right? If you were going to rewatch Fargo, Miller's Crossing, Raising Arizona, or No Country for Old Men, and you had to rewatch a Coen Brothers film, which one would you like to rewatch the most of those 4?
The one that I voted for, Fargo.
Yeah. Fargo is my favorite of those 4. Miller's Crossing is the one I like to rewatch the most because I get more out of it every time I watch it. There's always something little that I find that I missed, or just I find another layer to it. No Country for Old Men is like, you finish watching that film and you go, oh, right, so my life is pointless. You kind of you want to go and hang yourself. I'm not sure I really want to rewatch that. Great film though it is, and it's just like, so is there any more meaning to life? No. That's the message of the movie.
It's all chance.
Yeah, it's a bit grim. Chris or Al, do you want to plug anything before we wrap up?
I was going to say, for me, really quick, go check out my channel with action figures, movie parodies, and silly costumes and voices. And for me, Raising Arizona, that would be my rewatch. I just find that so damn funny, and the cast is just amazing.
Do you? I'm sure I asked you this before, but do you still have the big-eared, fuzzy fellow living with you in your boudoir?
No. Both. This is the image here is the second chinchilla I own. He has passed away. As obviously the first one. They only live like 15 years, and this image of this one got close to 26. I had
Wow,
really, it was
crazy,
ridiculous.
man.
It's like, are you sure he's not a cat? So
Yeah.
I had him for quite a while.
Yeah, I lost one of my chinchillas recently. It sucks because they're such little characters.
Oh,
They
God,
are.
Yeah.
I'm sort of always been quite keen to own one. My friend had a massive, sort of walked into his lounge, and most people's lounge has got like a sofa and a telly and maybe a fish tank or something. It had the sofa and it had the TV, and then the rest of the lounge was occupied by this huge cage with a ginormous twig in it. And I was like, what's this for? And then suddenly I saw this big ball of grey fur like unfold itself, because they kind of curl up, don't they?
Yeah, little balls.
We've had to
corner
get her a
somewhere.
cushion because Tundra used to nuzzle up with Luna, and since Luna's
Right.
died, like Tundra's a bit lost, a bit pining a bit. So we're giving her extra attention, and we've got her a cushion to snuggle up into.
Mate,
It's not too
I've got the solution for you. Baby Yoda doll. Trust me. From a snuggling point of view, I'm getting pretty good snuggle action.
I've had worse ideas. Yeah, we could try that. She probably
So,
eats
yeah,
it. That's her problem.
This is Critter Kingsford's channel. Do check it out. There are some really entertaining kind of, animation with toys, a bit like the is it the Bill and Joe show? I forget those guys on Channel 4. They did some great stuff. This is kind of in that vein. You will like it.
They did. The Star Wars ones were brilliant, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
Alec Guinness.
Toytanic.
Oh God, yeah, Titanic with the stuffed animals.
I love that because it's basically they do Titanic but with toys, and Kate Winslet character, who is a moose, like a toy moose in the film, it turns round to the Billy Zane character, who's an action man, and she's going, "But I'm destined to be married to a man who's only got plastic pants and no genitalia."
I used to love
And
that.
then
I don't know what they're doing
later on,
these days. Actually, Joe Cornish and Adam, what's his name?
Joe
No
Cornish,
idea.
yeah. Well, they got into writing. Joe, didn't one of them get into writing movies? Didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Attack the Block.
Yeah, Attack the Block, and I think he did some other stuff. I did like that show. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, it was cult.
Adam
at
and
the time,
Joe, Adam and Joe show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Adam and Joe
But
show. Yeah, I remember Bad
check it
Guy.
out.
Look up Titanic on YouTube. It is. You can definitely. Let me have a quick look. See, I've gone down another rabbit hole here. We're going to be here for another half an hour.
I'm sorry. You don't have to. I can surf the internet with adult supervision. On
No. I want to see if it's still there. Actually, hold on, because it used to all be. There's definitely clips of it.
Used to love it back in the day.
I found the
to be
Star Wars ones.
Yeah, there used to be, the whole thing used to be on YouTube. This is Billy Zane's character in it. Yeah, he's like this action man. And then Leonardo DiCaprio, his character, he's basically this bear with this blonde hair on the top, and and then that's his mate, the one who gets crushed by the.
When I board Titanic, all my sorrows will be drowned.
Such irony, if only we knew. All aboard the Skylark! The Titanic!
I mean, it is well done. It's just like nonsense bollocks.
Considering it's just two blokes pissing about in a bedroom kind of thing, it was great. I loved it.
And then at one point, Celine Dion appears singing her song in a helicopter, and it's another moose with big horns, which is a bit unfair because she's a beautiful woman. But Kate Winslet, yeah, Celine Dion, beautiful woman. But yeah, it's Titanic.
They were creative chaps.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 on the Nielsen ratings. Titanic. We will be back next Tuesday. Now, there are going to be 2 weeks where we are not here. This is the week of the full-time rehearsals for no, I think I will do the show then if I'm not too tired, but it's a touch and go. So the first Tuesday of October is a may or may not be stream because it's the week of full-time rehearsals and I'm rehearsing in a different location, so I won't be near here, but I will get back well before 10. It's just whether I've got any energy to do a show. And then the following week we will actually be doing a show until 9:30. So I definitely won't be doing the Nielsen ratings that week. I might come back and do a late night with Lancey and tell people how the show's going and that kind of thing, but if I'm not too tired. But that, yeah, we're only a few weeks away. We're 34, I think we're 34 days away from opening night now. So
Awesome.
not long to go. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you there, Critter Kingsford. Talk to Rachel about getting a seat on the private jet she's sorting out to bring everyone from America over.
Atlantic flight. Can't wait to see you guys.
I'll just stay down in the cargo hold with the other pets.
But do join me on Friday, people, if you're watching. I am doing a mega stream on Friday to announce my new book. It is the book launch on Friday. The book will be available on Amazon. For anybody who's been through some tough times, or if you've had a diagnosis of PTSD, a severe PTSD in my case, and you found a way to get through it, there's definitely something in this book for you. It's not just a book about people going clubbing. I mean, there's plenty of that in there as well. And there's also, by the way, there is also a whole chapter about YouTube and the YouTube channel and how important that was as a segue to me finding my confidence to get back on the dance floor. I don't think without YouTube, I don't think that would have happened. And I say that in the book. So that's it from us until Friday, 6 p.m. time. We'll be on. It's a long stream, as I said. Until then, don't forget what I always say, tell the people that you care about that you love them. And I'll see you on Friday at 6 p.m. UK time. Bye.
Interviews with fellow artists on the rise and reviews that might surprise. Films, TV shows from back in the day. You might just find a hidden gem today. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast Creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew.